welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Thursday morning to you. There's Tommy. We got Tommy on camera. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcast. This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Also joining us, we got Jasmine, and we've got Jeff Krushell from Crush Performance.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me in.
How are you, Jeff?
Yeah, really good. Really good. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Fall, just
November?
Sports. No, just this fall transition phase. You know, just I love this time of year.
Because you go to the Dominican.
Arizona and all these different crazy places. But
Take me with you.
Just yes, I know it is, especially this time of year. But I will tell you this: late October, mid-October, we were down in Arizona in an MLB camp.
Yep.
We bring in all the top players from around the world. It's a great kind of little just sort of showcase for the kids who will hopefully potentially sign pro,
Yep.
or wind up going to college and then working their way through the system there. But it was hot. We typically do it in the fall because the weather's great, right?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, it was so hot. Like the warmest I've ever been in my life was 42 degrees, and that was in Turkey when I was just touring around in a beach town, right? And that was too much.
Was it because it was humid?
No, the desert heat, man, it's totally different.
Okay,
So I've been
okay.
to Arizona before, but never in the desert heat. It was 46 degrees Celsius in midday, right?
Yeah.
Our game time was like 3:30 for these kids from Europe and Northern Europe. It was an eye-opener. But that desert heat, it's a different animal, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
But
And
I won't play baseball in it.
No. Well, again,
golf.
we had coaches from all over the world as well. So we had one of our great pitching coaches, Marco Mendoza. He's from Mexico, and he was saying that in Mexico, there's a law, at least in his area, where when it gets 37 degrees Celsius, outside organized sports has to cease and desist because it gets too dangerous.
Yeah.
And I was telling them, hey, man, well, yeah, it's kind of similar up in Canada. When it gets minus 40, the buses stop running. Schools are open. They're going, pardon? What? Minus what?
Minus 40.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? For our buses. And so there's all these rules. And here we are teeing it up. And the MLB security guys are there. They're going, should we be playing today? Like, this seems extreme. But this big tournament that the boys were playing in didn't have any rules in terms of temperatures or danger. So it was really interesting, right? Like, we made it through. But these guys, we were sun-facing dugout as the sun went down, and we had these poor boys, man. They were cold towels, 3 or 4 sitting in the shade, just too much. But yeah, so I do escape the cold here once in a while, and that was one of them. But that was something else in terms of temperatures.
The trick, if you're golfing, I learned this from our neighbor, Dr. Dave. He was an ER doctor in Detroit. He's seen some stuff. And he's like, just all you need in that heat. But this is baseball, so that's a little bit different. Like football, I couldn't imagine. But in that heat, a towel in a bucket of water and ice.
Yep.
And just every couple minutes on your head.
Some people had that Jays team that he was part of at the EST Classic had that this year.
And it really does work. And it's in those conditions. And when we do our boys golf trip down to Arizona, we do what Dr. Dave said, and it was that. But baseball, football, anything like that active, I think would be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, just a little sweat towel, right?
Yeah.
And when it gets hot here, even like when I was coaching my daughter's soccer team, we would do that. Going, what? I said, ice towels. Let's get a bucket of ice towels. Everybody's what? Put a little eucalyptus in there. What smells great.
Eucalyptus.
Nice.
Good
Yeah.
touch, Crusher.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at
I know,
you.
that's
You
the way to
fancy.
go. For sure, yeah. Tricks of the trade.
Yep.
Tricks of the trade.
Did you call Will to be like, what are you wearing today?
No, I
We've
just
got
said,
the Tom Gazzola gift from
Yes.
Lieutenant Eric.
All right.
We heard you didn't have any, share it with the group if you like.
Look
you guys
at
can have
that.
it too, you know?
At you.
Hey,
Lieutenant Eric, thank you, Lieutenant Eric and Danny. Here, I'm going to give you guys some, but the one rule is you can't touch the Twix
oh, he's a Twix
or the
man.
coffee crisp yet.
See, I'm a.
So don't take anything,
I
basically.
know, and I have a nut allergy. This is all nutty. Okay, fine. I'll take.
You have to be careful, hey, with the nut allergies. What was?
Well, it
tricky-
wasn't his
what was-
candy.
what was-
He can't decide on the
True.
No,
I'm
but for
good.
the nut stuff, it's not like you
How
brought
rude.
it and only packed stuff that you can.
supposed
That's not on him.
I'm with you. For the
I'm
first
saying he's
year-
limiting what. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm saying
Yeah,
he's
so
limiting
don't touch
already
the
what I
Twix.
can have.
You don't want anything, Crusher?
No, I'm good right now. This is the first year in our house we didn't actually buy the little Halloween candies.
Oh,
You
I
weren't
love a
giving
good
out
Hershey.
apples, were you?
What's that?
Yeah. Apples.
Hershey's cookie and cream.
No, we go to my daughter's place for Halloween. We do this big thing, man. Like we put on a show.
Okay.
Like we put on a show. Like it's
You
just so
dress
much
up?
fun. Yeah, I dress up every year.
What?
What were you
What's the
this year?
costumes this year?
So I was kind of like a.
And you have to have
like,
sexy in front of
like-
it. We learned
like-
that for Halloween. So I was a sexy
know?
crayon. She was sexy Catwoman. He
Oh,
was
really?
sexy baseball
No,
player.
there was
Yeah.
not.
Well, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just sexy.
Has to
It's
be
true.
Whatever you
sexy.
say, just add sexy in front.
I was not sexy at all, man. I was like, I had like my dad's old, like real grass sigh, like the actual legitimate, sigh.
Oh, wow.
And a little cleaver, and I would sit there in this black cloak with kind of like a Ghost Rider mask on.
Yeah.
But I have this like real silver, legitimate kind of like gladiator helmet. So I blacked out my eyes and I just sort of sat in the chair like this and let the kids walk up. But where Thomas, they walk up and I go, "Happy Halloween."
I love that.
And I don't want the kids
You're
to
a
cry.
crazy old man now.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years. Like when Deb and I got our first house, one of the things we're doing a Halloween, so we cleared out our garage and made a little maze and everything. We've
that's
always
awesome.
had fun, like every year.
And you gave the kid apples.
And we get no, we didn't. We got
thank God.
full size chocolate bars and yeah,
Oh.
That's
yeah,
a good house,
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
That's a
You're
great
the
house.
favorite house on the block.
I love that you guys,
Yeah.
you and your wife got into, like, we need to do Halloween. We need to do it, like, all out.
big time.
What did she dress up as?
Big? She was like the sexy witch, of course.
Oh, yes. she
Yes,
was.
sexy.
Uncle Leg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's kind of her go-to thing. But every year I'm either like Pumpkinhead dude or
Sexy
some
Pumpkinhead.
kind of
Sexy pumpkin.
but it's so much fun. But the parents love it, and then the older kids love it. The younger kids, I try to go, but we had 3 criers, 3 no approachers, and 3 cross the streeters not even coming close.
No.
Yeah. And then I would, I'd take my mask off. Say, no, come on, kids.
Yeah.
But one
Daddy takes this seriously.
This one poor kid, oh my gosh, in some kind of purple outfit, I don't know what it was. But her little brother would walk with his mom up to the stairs, right? And then walk by me. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to scare the little guy. And the older brother's kind of walking up. I said, "Happy Halloween." And he just started screaming down the street.
no.
And the mom's got the little guy here. And she's like, "No, don't worry. And I was trying not to be scary. Oh my gosh. I hope he's not traumatized
No.
forever.
Halloween is supposed to be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
you
know?
have to expect those things.
Yeah.
My niece
Little
cried
spooky.
apparently, so
Oh.
that's what happens.
It's
So
all
much fun.
good.
Another
Yeah.
reason
Makes
I like
them
the fall,
tougher.
though, right?
Yeah.
I love this time of year, man. You got
too.
like the summer sports going into the off season, all the winter sports coming around. It's my favorite time of year by far.
All right, I respect that
Yeah.
very, very much.
Have you two ever waxed your nose before?
No, not and especially after listening to you
No.
and then seeing the end result. Will came in and look at this. And I'm like, oh, get out of here.
It was clean.
It was disgusting. It
Yeah,
just
no.
buzzed them.
No,
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
it wasn't.
No.
Like what is that? The
didn't find it bad.
40-year-old virgin? Is that the show? Where he goes
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what does he say?
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson.
time out. Not doing it, man. I don't get it.
See, don't you find like a new respect for women after doing that? Everything that we got to do to groom ourselves.
Yeah, I
you
do.
know, all the
I didn't
time
find it
and
that bad,
maintain
so
it.
no.
Oh,
Your
That's what
nose,
I'm saying. I didn't find it that bad.
but it was your nose. Think about everything else.
yeah. We need to.
But I've
Okay, well,
always
sure.
respected women, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind
you.
of believe Tommy.
I just-
on that one.
I
Brownie
didn't
points.
find it. I didn't
Brownie
find it
points.
bad. Like it wasn't. It
Date
didn't
night
hurt as
tonight.
much.
Is it tonight?
Where are you going?
Range Road.
Remember, he made reservations.
well, that
I
was
can't
like a
remember who
week ago.
recommended that. I told Reed yesterday. He's like, "What? That's one of the most expensive places I went." I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a pricey place.
But can't wait for your review on your
Yeah.
on your drinks and appies. Make sure you get an espresso martini. I want to know.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Oh, you
they're
don't. It's
okay,
you that
but-
hasn't tried it. Have you tried? Do you like espresso martini?
Yeah, I've had one. Yeah.
They're good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Coffee with gin or bad vodka. This guy hasn't tried any.
That sounds delicious.
He still hasn't. You got to convince him and try it.
I want to. I just haven't been at a place to order it.
Yeah. See, I'm more of a beer guy. I
Yeah.
love going places and just trying a new beer.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think that all started like this whole MLB thing, this international travel, as a young
Oh,
pro.
you must have seen.
Like
yeah.
it's just so it was so cool, man. Like, it just broadens your horizons. Travel does, right?
Yep.
And that's why we encourage all of our kids just to, hey, man, get out there, whatever your budget is, just go see something. But the German guys, that's where I really appreciated beer beyond Coors and, the classic, Molson Canadian,
the big-
Labatt's.
the big
You mean like
labels.
craft
Yeah.
beer?
Maybe
Yeah.
the craft beers, but my first time I ever had like a Hefeweizen or a Dunkelweizen or
Nice.
the Czech Pill, which is famous over there. All
Yes.
these crazy regional beers, really, and now the craft beer explosion, just so much fun.
It is.
So much
Absolutely.
fun. Oh,
It is. I will be getting beer tonight.
yeah.
That's what I'm going to be getting. We're going to do snacks and beer. Like it's not a full meal deal, and she's sick. So
You should do like tasters if they have tasters.
yeah,
and
it's
you
like
can share.
$100 like board.
While you're going
oh
to
my
Range Road, excuse me.
Yeah.
Don't excuse
Your
me.
fault.
I think it was your recommendation.
I recommended to get reservations, or
Who
you
made
wouldn't have
that
gotten in. Yeah.
recommendation? I'm like,
Oh,
where are
it's,
we gonna-
it's really good.
I would have said
Okay,
go
okay.
happy hour, Tommy. That's what I would have told you.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
hour.
Whatever. It's going to be fine.
I wouldn't say that I'm a beer snob, but I'm gonna just share a secret with you guys.
Please.
I'll walk into like if I'm on the road or whatever, if Deb and I are touring or if we're going out for dinner, we'll walk into a restaurant. I will walk up to the bar. What do you have on tap? And if we don't like it, we leave.
Really?
Wow.
We've done it
You
before.
really are a beer snob then, eh?
I don't like
Oh,
to say
you
beer
fancy.
snob.
Yeah.
But if it's just the typical beers that
Yeah.
I've tried
Yes.
1,000
Yeah.
times,
Yes.
not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I want it on a tap too. I don't bottles okay, but if I can get it on a tap, that's the way
Tap
to go.
is better.
What
I think.
about like Tab? I agree with you. What about like those import beers like Peroni or
I
like,
love
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Like would
Peroni
that be
Moretti,
okay?
yeah.
Would that slide or no?
No, totally. In a summer
Yeah.
day, hot summer day, for sure. There's no doubt. No doubt.
Nothing beats a 6 o'clock lager at any time of the year.
I actually agree. 600 lager is unreal.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
very, very
but
good.
isn't that weird how the culture has kind of come around, right? All these craft beers, and now we got a couple friends that don't drink, right?
Yeah.
For various health reasons or whatever. The non-alcoholic side now, like the non-alcoholic
Yes.
beer, craft beers. Like if you go into any of the real good beer stores, like they have a section now for non-alcoholic. It is freaking fantastic tasting. You used to always taste soapy and odd.
Yeah.
Really good, which is another great sort of trend I'm seeing out there, right?
Scott Lowry, when he was with Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, he would come in and we actually, before we flipped to the new station, he brought in, remember the non-alcoholic beer? Mm-hmm. And it was a craft brewery starting to do it. And they found that there were more people that like beer but don't want to get all messed up and they avoid the alcohol. So more of these craft breweries were creating a non-alcoholic version and still same flavor profile. And the way they were making sure the flavor profile remained the same is they'd brew it the same and then they de-alcoholize it, as opposed to
I
like
wondered.
other ones that would make it without alcohol. That's why you got the funny taste.
Right. Okay. And that's fascinating to me because like when we go out with our friends or whatever, somebody's got to drive, right? And we kind of take turns. And when it's my turn, I've really gone to those non-alcoholic beers because I like having a beer and being social, right? What a great option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Huh? Interesting.
I'm not into. I want the alcohol.
Give
Yeah, I
me the
never in my life tried it.
I haven't. When I was a kid, I was in Mexico and I did a lot of the virgins, whatever, just to be like, oh, I'm drinking. But beyond that, no,
Yeah.
I want the alcohol,
Now
and if
Matt's
not,
walking around with two 5-gallon
yeah.
pails of Coronas on ice.
Yeah.
instead of
Some
that,
long
just
drink.
If I'm not drinking the alcohol, then it's just give me a water or something
Legit.
or coffee.
I don't want the extra calories.
I don't need that. I'm looking at the menu for tonight, Tommy. It looks delicious.
Okay.
They got something called Duck Trio. Duck breast, duck pie, duck confit, greens, cognac
confit.
sauce. Oh, it looks delicious. Pricing wise,
it's
your wallet's
not
taking
good.
a hit. If you're going with just some taste,
We're
like,
doing snacks tonight.
Yeah, but do a
we agree.
board.
the snacks
then you
are
can-
minimum $17.
That's fine.
Yes, you're better off doing a board.
So you're doing a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's so much fun.
There's a kitchen board for $32.
Great.
Selection of meat, cheese, pickles,
Yes.
condiments, and bread.
There's
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
You could
be
order a
alright.
charcuterie board to go from
Yeah.
them.
The culinary scene in Edmonton's actually quite good.
yeah.
Have you been to the brewery district?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet you would have been like, the most popular guy there.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you, there's some really cool things going on in Edmonton. And when you go into the restaurant scene, there's some great places just to
Yes.
go and have a great meal. There
was
really
it?
is.
Recently, there was somebody, Edmonton was declared as like a place to visit in the summer recently.
Yeah.
Like if by
by
some
Lonely
travel-
Planet.
Was that what it was?
Top
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Top 10, right. Edmonton,
But it's 'cause
rocking, YG.
Our food scene is actually
Unreal.
pretty significant.
It's
like
great.
it's gone really good. And
Yeah.
there are some mainstays that have been around for a while, like Bistro Praha downtown. That is
Yep.
just a classic, but then all these other ones that have opened up, people just absolutely love them.
Yeah.
And so we are very lucky with the food scene that we do have.
So my daughter's last Christmas, I think it was, the best gift that I think I've gotten since somebody got me my new hockey skates. I think that's one of the best, most memorable gifts I've ever had. But my daughters, what does dad need, right? I have 3 daughters. And so they all pitched in and got me this. Got my old wallet. Somehow they found one of my old wallets in a drawer, and they filled it up with gift coupons for all these cool restaurants around town and a couple movie passes. It's a date night wallet, is what she called
Great
it. Is what they
idea.
called it.
Yeah.
And some of these restaurants, I didn't even know were out there. But through those gift cards, we've gone and experienced some of these really cool places, man. Like really cool gift. But the restaurant scene out there, man, I actually had no idea.
Did you go to Food's repair shop and walk through the vending machines?
I love
I have
that
not been
place.
there.
You gotta go.
it's
Okay,
neat.
Make
that's-
reservations and go.
Okay, that's going to make the list for sure. We need a show. We need an Edmonton food scene
foodie show.
man. The
I
food-
would
Yeah,
so
we
do
do.
that. And when you go,
just to know.
yeah, and like give tips because sometimes some places are overrated and too expensive.
Yeah.
If you go, it's a great place to taste. Like you can order everything,
Yeah,
and
see,
you
I
and your
love
wife
that.
can just share it and
Yeah.
have your opinions on what you feel.
Yeah,
on your palates.
Yeah, I love that. I love taking like a couple friends or
Mm-hmm.
just my wife and I and go, well, taste food. I have to say this. Have you guys watched The Bear?
Absolutely.
No, I haven't yet.
Best show.
Yeah, so my daughter is kind of in the culinary world, right? My middle daughter started chefing. She does some private chefing now, so she does these like private, like through COVID. That's why I think, oh God.
Are you hungry now?
I got so heavy through COVID though, because she was at home. Everybody's hunkered down in our
Tell
place.
me about
And
it.
it was
She's just cooking. She's just
honestly
cooking for you.
like it was like a 3 to 5 course meal every night because she was just work
Practicing.
was shut down,
Yeah.
restaurants. She was just going to incredible. Hats off to the restaurateurs though, the staff and people behind the scenes in the restaurant business. Oh man, what a different lifestyle that is. But man, I the fact that we can go out and enjoy that so much.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
would she equate it to the bear?
What's that?
Would she like say the way the bear is?
She
Would
loved the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in those kitchens.
And she's saying that's how
Yes.
it really is, right?
Yes,
That's
chef.
what I heard.
Yes, chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the really organized, high intensity, busy.
And how, like behind the scenes, it's all calm. You have a candle, Tommy's talking to his date, sipping some wine, but really in the back, it's like, it's wild, right?
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Just think about it.
You guys
Yeah.
gotta watch it. It's only like 40 minutes long. It's one of the best shows ever, honestly. It's a short show. There's a little bit of drama, lots of stuff about you learn about
Short
culinary
show.
stuff.
It's
is.
middle. It's medium.
That's a
30 to
medium
40
length show.
minutes is
show.
a short show.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
like
20
these
minutes is a
hour-
short
That
show.
is a medium length show.
20 minutes
That
is a
is-
short show. An
That
hour
is
long
more
is
than a
a long show. 30, 40 minutes is definitely a medium length show.
I'm with
That is
Matthew,
not a short show at all.
Wow.
You watch TV, there's like 20-minute episodes for a lot of things.
Let's go. Like
TV-wise.
that, yeah.
You cannot say that that's a short show at 40 minutes.
Because it has an extra 7 minutes tacked onto it or
That's an
something?
extra 20.
17 to
No.
20.
Yeah.
No, 'cause
22 minutes is the standard TV show from network or
The
cable or
bear,
whatever.
the
it is.
bear range is like 28 minutes to like
Oh, now we're at
38
28.
minutes.
Oh. Now we're
It
at 28
varies the
minutes.
show. It varies. That
I will
considered short.
check with the
Emily in
Wikipedia.
Paris
Never
is a short
watch-
show.
I don't care about Emily in Paris. I don't care if she's. I don't care about the bear.
So it runs anytime.
God.
Their shortest episode ever was 20 minutes. Their
Okay.
longest, though, was 66.
There you go.
So it ranges
Can't
all
do
over
it.
the place.
Can't do
You
it.
cannot
Good,
call
I
that
like
a
that.
medium show or a short show.
medium
That's a
show.
medium length show.
Both
Yeah.
of you, hey? My
solidarity
case.
with Matthew.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
So
Solidarity.
I watched 2
here.
episodes so far.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't get into a new show right now. It's just not enough time. But
Well,
it's
you're in the middle
That's
of your
addicting.
favorite season.
yeah, exactly. There's too much
yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
There's
you're right.
Way
Yeah.
too much
Same,
going
I
on.
can't catch up because of all the sports that are on.
Yeah.
I got VR Montenegro. The bear is overrated.
Oh, okay.
Jamie says, I wouldn't call it the best show, but it's all right.
Yeah. Hey, so wonder if those guys, anybody in the restaurant business, if it really reflects what happens
Yeah,
behind
maybe
I
the
that's
heard
what
scenes.
it
it is.
did, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of like people that have worked in the restaurant industry that can't watch it because it brings them like PTSD.
Yeah, I
being in
see
the
that.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, there you go. That's kind of what
pretty
my
close.
daughter said too. No, she goes, no, she goes, I relate to those guys, man.
Do I
Hardworking
have
people.
a show?
Oof.
I'm not watching a show right now. I don't have a show.
I'm watching The Penguin.
And
I
heard
have
about
one
that.
episode left, and it is unreal. Great show.
Really?
Fantastic.
Is it
show.
long, medium, short?
If you're not watching,
It's an
Jasmine
hour
literally
long.
stuck out her tongue at Matthew after that one.
She didn't even answer the question.
It's an hour long.
You're
And
back
it's,
to
So what is
It's
that
elementary
considered?
I consider that long. An hour is long because you
Is
got to
Batman
dedicate.
in it?
40 minutes is short.
Apparently you got to watch this Penguin for the new Batman too.
Yeah, this version of Batman, I have zero interest in.
And it's my favorite, and that's the Catwoman I was.
Oh, right. For Halloween.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have zero interest in this version of Batman.
Really? I haven't seen it.
Too many
The new
Batmans in a
Batman's
small.
Yeah, yeah.
unreal.
Right.
Yeah.
The best Batman. The Batman.
No, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
But I mean okay. I'm sorry.
Andrea says, I agree on the beer talk. And so, yeah, like we're talking about the beer and the non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
By the way, Scott Laurie, Brian Schmidt from Strathcona Spirits, which does Birdie Booze, says, Scotty is now at North Central Co-ops, and now they carry all the Birdie Booze. He's a beauty.
Did you find out about the food and wine festival for me? If Strathcona Spirits will be there. And
Oh, yeah,
if
they're not going to be there.
Alley Cat-
Yeah, Schmitty texted me back. He says he hates those. It's full of drunk cougars. And he said it would be right up my alley. I was like, yeah, okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I did ask Schmitty about that. And he said, no, Strathcona Spirits will not be there. And he hates them.
You'll have to just get your birdie boost somewhere else.
I will. It's all good.
I gotta ask you, Jeff. We had Reed and Jay. They had Eric Zabrowski on in studio. Have you ever worked? Like, have you ever been around him or?
No, I don't.
No.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been around them though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was really cool having him in. Just it was neat to like. Today, Trouba Hubbard signed a contract extension.
Yeah.
Yes,
for
he
15
did.
mil.
Right on.
And it's just cool seeing these Canadian or like these local Edmontonian and area. I know Trouba's Sherwood Park.
Yeah.
Just going off and doing big things. It was just cool listening to Eric's stories. He was just working his way up through the minors and stuff and getting to the pros.
Yeah.
And it was fun. He talked about Stanton, going long on it, yard on him. And he was having fun with it. He's like, that ball I don't even think has landed yet.
Right.
Like he was, and it's like if there is a time to give up a home run, like his first ever home run or something in like playoffs, and he's like that, like you can't be upset that it was to Stanton at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
Like, that's kind of cool that a player like he was very open and honest in
Yeah.
that fun way. As like, because I could see there's be athletes that be like, yeah, I just don't like giving up home runs. But he's like, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Right. I mean, these guys are so great. I mean, the number of Canadians who have made their way through professional baseball is actually quite alarming. Like it is something that Canadians can be proud of for sure. But the Canadian developmental model is great. And he's a great example. You have, think about right here, Mike Johnson lives in town, right? And pitched in the big leagues forever. Chris Meetza.
I think he was the fifth Edmontonian area.
Yeah.
To
right.
make it to the pros.
Which is just great, man. There's so many, and then these ballparks, and now these organizations like the Riverhawks are real. They're operating like pro teams. That's so great for the baseball community. In Western Canada, believe it or not, guys, if you look globally, Western Canada is becoming very quickly a hub for development simply because of all these teams. I mean, you go down and look what Greg's doing in Medicine Hat. You now have the guys in Okotoks taking off. You got the Vauxhall Academy. You got the guys by Red Deer there, by the new complex, by Sylvan Lake, right?
Oh,
Great complex there. You got the new stadium coming up in Spruce Grove. You got these incredible leadership group running the Riverhawks, like a pro team selling out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're drawing right now, and the momentum is going to keep going. They're drawing like they were back in the affiliate days. So great for the game. I love it. I love baseball, by the way, but
Couldn't tell.
But to see guys like this, stories like this, oh, so great. And he and I have missed each other in terms of the junior national team. So and with Baseball Canada, so I never really was around him. But you know who all these players are, of course.
Crusher, he had 2 Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah.
And that's insane. And he's not that old. What is he, 26? 27. Yeah, he's had 2 Tommy Johns. He was playing in the field and then ended up pitching in college. And then at the JUCO he was at, or whatever college he was at, they're like, you can't pitch for us. And then he went JUCO. And then that's when his game started to improve. I was fascinated. I was listening to
Perseverance, right?
the whole thing.
Finding a
Yeah.
way. Good for him. How many people would have quit? How many players would have quit? Or he's probably even told that he's probably never going to throw again. Because coming back from one Tommy John is, there's odds there. And it's actually pretty good. The way the surgeries are done now is incredible. Like it's better than ever now than it's ever been. But there's still, when you have that surgery, it is decreasing your odds of not just getting back there, but getting back to the level you were, but then staying there. So I hope he has a lot of years left of high performance ball. So great. What a great story.
Yeah.
So there was a big debate in the office though yesterday. Jay came in and he said he could catch, we said 6 pitches. He could catch Eric Zagowski pitching to him. If he was in the catcher spot with a batter, glove out, he'd said he could catch 6 for 6.
There's no chance.
Of fastball. We didn't even say curveball. He thinks he could catch even a curveball or something. I was like, there's no chance you've got that. But then we went to just fastball. Do you think Jay, now his highest level of baseball was Pee Wee. Do you think he could sit behind plate at Remax with Eric pitching to him and would be able to catch those balls?
No.
Even if Eric put it right in his mitt.
that was Eric's Eric answers like the only way you'd catch it is if I put it right in your mitt.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no chance. I mean, you get a little two-seamer that moves just a little bit, your thumb will be broken. So guard up the thumb. So and this is why I say this, okay? I don't really want to share this story. I'm going to share this story.
Share the story.
Okay?
I want to share this. I'm going to do it.
It's kind of embarrassing, okay? Because I played baseball as far as I could, in the back in the day, coming out of Westlock, right? Great baseball community there too. Westlock, Barhead, Athabasca, just great players. Anyway, I wind up going down to the Blue Jays. My very first year as a guest coach. I went down there. I was working at Randy Gregg's clinic here, and every spring we would have a meeting with everybody, the doctors, the surgeons, the physiotherapists, the performance guys, rehab guys. We'd all got together. And at this one meeting, it was in April. So Little League Baseball had just started, I think, is how it went. Maybe it was in late May, because the leagues were underway. And so we just went through what's happening in the clinic. And the talk was, hey man, we're getting so many elbows and shoulders, but little, like 10-year-olds and 12, 15-year-olds. And then one of the doctors said, I can't remember if it was Randy or who it was, but one of the doctors said, look, about 85% of these injuries are 100% preventable. Like, what are we doing? What's going on out there? So I actually went and met with the president of Baseball Alberta at the time. I said, guys, look, we're breaking kids. What's going on here? This is just our little clinic. Imagine what's going on out there. And so this dialogue started, guys, and it was great. And so the Baseball Alberta guys were great because it's okay. So what do we do? I said, look, let's just help the coaches and help the moms and dads and the players understand what it takes to get ready for throwing a baseball. And as a caveat right now, I will tell you, throwing a baseball and all the movements of sport, throwing a baseball is one of the most complex movements you can possibly want to execute. It's different than throwing a football.
And
it's
what about
a little different than tennis?
Swinging.
Yeah, hitting's one thing, right? But throwing a baseball is different just because of the leverage, the risk factors involved, okay? So just from its movement standpoint, it's one of the most complex movements in all the sport. What has to happen and the dangers, right? The weak points. Left unchecked, it is by far the most dangerous movement in sport. And we see that in the injury rates, right? And so I'm talking to these guys. And so it turns out I start working with some of their young baseball players who are on sort of the high performance pipeline. And the Blue Jays wind up, signing some of these kids. And they're going, hey, what's going on? So I got to know these guys. I said, wouldn't it be great? Because I've never seen a pro game. I've never been to Toronto at this point. I said, wouldn't it be cool if I could go down and go to spring training, see what they do with their pro guys and bring it back and just make it better for everybody. And so I'm just out of school, right? Student loans. My wife and I just got married and we're going, I can't. And so they set it up. It actually happens, but I'm paying for most of it, right? So I wind up going down for 10 days. And my first day there, this is the story. My first day there, spring training's just about to start. And Eric Jansen was one of the big pieces of the puzzle. If you go way back in the day, it was like shortly after the Clemens and Henkin back-to-back Cy Youngs. Blue Jays were on fire. They still had an unbelievable core. Eric Jansen was one of their starters, a real big piece of their puzzle. And he was just coming back from a Tommy John. Ooh. So this was his first, I was there for his first full bullpen leading into spring training. And so everybody's there. The GM, the assistant GMs, all the pitching staff, everybody's there. And Charlie O'Brien is the catcher. If you remember Charlie O'Brien.
Goalie mask
and the long hair and really, really great catcher. And I'm there off the plane, kid from Alberta in my street clothes, and everybody's up there and I'm nervous as heck. Like I don't know anybody and, I've shook a few hands, but I'm just staying out of the way, right? And so the mound was this way, and I'm standing kind of behind Charlie. Charlie's right down there, and fence. And so there starts throwing, and they asked me to move over because I was distracting or whatever. So I just moved over, no problem. And so he's throwing away, and boom, and then he's heating it up full. Hey man, fastball, curveball, changeup, and they're going through the thing, and then, hey, we need somebody to stand in. And I'm not even sure if I even knew what that meant at the time, right? Like what? And so I'm the only one standing on the catcher's side. And so Charlie goes, hey kid, you want to stand in here? I'm going, yeah, okay. So I step into the batter's box, right? And I'm in my street clothes.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm standing like, here's Charlie. I'm standing way out here because this ball's thwap. Like it's the first time I've seen live major league pitching. And he was unleashing it, right? It's his first full bullpen. And so they're kind of chuckling and say, no, stand in a little closer. So I stand in, it's whap, and it's all, fastball, it's fastball, change up. And then the dreaded, this is where it all happened. This is where it all went south, man. It's curveball. And Charlie's sitting there like this, hey, we get ready, man. I said, perfect. And this ball's coming right for my head. I'm standing there just like this. The ball's coming for my head. I jump up, my feet are in the air. I land flat on my back, poof, like this.
No.
Charlie's like this, pop. He's going, dude, what are you doing? And everybody, like 30 people up there, they're howling. And I'm on the ground. I'm going, it was coming for my head. It was coming for my head. Are you freaking kidding me? And everybody's laughing. And I'm on the ground. I went, oh, for the love of all things holy on earth. Freaking believable, guys. Like, and that's where you get context of things, right? So could he catch those balls? Oh, later on, you want to hear one other story? One other quick one?
Of course.
Okay, so listen. So,
Answer is no, Jay.
So I'm in big league camp, right? And so I've taken over the big league team now. And our Darren Fletcher was injured.
Yeah.
Our bullpen catcher was down doing AAA somewhere. John Gibbons was our bullpen coach. So Gibby caught a little bit, but his knee was blown up, so he couldn't catch. So we had Andy Stewart. They needed another bullpen catcher. And I'd caught a little bit as a kid. And I've been catching the guys in rehab and stuff. So I'm okay, right? I'm okay. And Fletch gave me one of his catcher's mitts, and I got my big thumb guard because I almost broke my thumb 10 times. And so I suit up, and I'm warming up guys in the bullpen. Big freaking mistake. And I knew it was going to be tough. So I set it up like this. And getting back to your point, why it would actually be fun to watch as long as you set him up so he was safe. So I started catching, and after, I think it was Carpenter. It was either Carpenter or Halliday were like first one. Even their two-seam fastballs throwing at 80%. I honestly couldn't move the glove fast enough to catch the balls.
Really?
Like they're deflecting everywhere. They're curveballs. And I just sort of said, timeout right here. Okay. Straight fastball warm-ups here on this side, curveballs, change-ups over there with Andy. Like respect for the catchers. Like you got to appreciate.
You had to call timeout?
I couldn't catch them, guys. Listen to me. I couldn't.
Wow.
And I played ball, but that's just, how incredible these guys are. Like a bat catcher is one of my favorite positions to train. I love working with the catchers, but I'm telling you, man, I literally could not move the glove fast enough to catch. And Koch was throwing 100, 101 miles an hour then. He was like the first guy to really consistently throw over 100 miles an hour in the big leagues. Catching him, no freaking chance.
Well, now I want to get Jay to throw to Riverhawks for a day.
Right.
And I'm not going to even talk majors here. I'm not going to talk Eric here. I want him to go up against the Riverhawks pitcher.
Let's do it.
And see see how many fastballs and then do a couple change up and curveballs and see what Jay could do. Because Jay was feeling pretty comfortable until Eric kind of was like, if I put them in the glove, that's the only way you're going to catch them.
No, there's no freaking chance, man. Oh, gosh. Anyway, a couple stories just brought back memories.
I love those.
Oh, man. So embarrassing. Oh, so embarrassing. Everybody was howling on the mound.
I don't think I could ever step in a batter's box.
Oh.
I would be so terrified.
But you got to understand that ball was coming for my
that's
head.
the thing.
And Charlie Brown's like this, pop. His glove didn't move. He's like, dude, what? Oh, anyway, kudos. That's just how good they are, right?
Yeah.
Like even the NHL hockey guys, I remember being on the ice with them. I was just a pylon, honestly. And I'm a pretty good skater.
Yeah.
But getting out there with those guys, it was a lockout year, right? And they were skating. There's a bunch of guys in town skating, and I was working with some of the guys. And so I went out, hey, come on out. I said, oh, okay, this will be fun, just to get some context. And I knew what it was going to be about. But, those passes would hit my stick like hard. And I wasn't trying to receive the pass. They were on my tape, right? And the play would be going this way. And then, I would transition this way. And by the time I get going, they're already coming back.
Yep.
I was a literal pylon out there. So you got to respect how good these athletes are, man. It's humbling for guys like me that work with them, but for the general public to understand. So it would
Big
be
hand
fun to
from
have
him.
Eric.
Yeah.
Might have to do that. Might have to talk to Riverhawks.
No, do it.
As a video, nice little video. That'd be a fun little YouTube.
I think we should do it if we can. But Krushell, like, that's a good point because you get guys that'll be like, oh, I could score 30 on McDavid's line. It's like, buddy, you couldn't even keep up. I
There's
played
no
Div 1
chance.
AMHL. It doesn't matter.
It's so fast.
If Strade goes on the ice or Cass goes on the ice with anyone,
They
in beer
school
league,
you.
and it's like these guys weren't number one center, number one pairing defensemen
No.
in the NHL, but they'd come to you and they would destroy you.
Their job was to play hockey every single day. And you know how good they had to get
yeah.
to
They were
just be mediocre
They were the
NHLers.
best player on their team
Yeah.
for a
Jason
while, till a
Strudwick,
certain
man.
point. They were
Yes.
always the best on their team.
That's right.
And then they had to adjust their role and what they could do
Exactly.
because they got so high. Yeah, but if they go on the ice with most people, they will be McDavid versus.
Jason Strudwick's a special person, you know.
Yes, he is.
Like I've seen, of course, I know I've watched him play when he was playing, but I got to know him a little bit through, of course, TSN, but also have been on the ice at some of his camps. We've had him come out work with some of our defensemen that I was working with in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever get a chance to see him coach, like
Struddy.
brilliant, like just a brilliant coach working with younger players.
It's just so personable.
I was gonna say, even like me that listens to him, I find him relatable. Like I find him like I can just go and shoot the shiz with the guy, right?
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
that. I love him. And then, and again, there's those people all over the world, but to have a guy like that in the community giving back, like just that perspective. But, just again, back to the point, watching him with, young junior level hockey players, him out demonstrating drills, just turning those guys inside and out, right? It's just incredible the level of skill and talent.
But Eric's, we got Eric to sign the wall. We've started a thing. I've been wanting to do
yeah.
this for
I
a
was
while.
gonna ask you.
That's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I want everyone that comes in almost like to build the wall here of signatures.
That's a great
I
idea.
should have got Mag T when he was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But moving forward, so afterwards, if you guys would like to
So
sign.
Eric's
That's
there.
cool.
Eric's
Walkie
there,
Engage.
Gager, myself, Glue Guy, Reed, and Hernan so far.
I love it. That's
Hernan's
great.
nice.
We're gonna slowly fill this
I like
blue
how
space
Hernan has
up.
a number.
Yeah, he said I
Yeah.
wanted to use it. He's like, "Can I put my number up there?" I was like signing with my number, so like, go for it.
That
So put
sounds.
up
I
his
was
number.
Like, ooh.
That's his soccer jersey, obviously.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it's we're gonna fill up that wall over time and just see where we can go. With
I
it.
think that's a
Got
great
that open
idea.
blue space. Why not?
Super.
So then,
cool
yeah, we
idea.
got Eric. We signed it to make sure Eric didn't feel like he was the first one doing it because that'd be just a little awkward. Hey, we got this wall that we're gonna get people to sign.
Excuse me, sir. Can you sign my wall? Yeah, sure, kid. I love it. That's fantastic.
I love it.
This is the EST Hangout. Jasmine, Krushell, Iwanyk, Gazola with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. About 20 minutes time or so, we will do the EST flyaway keyword. I will have to step out to take the call and come back in just because Trev's not here. Portions of this hour brought to you by Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Stock. Promotional products that do bring the buzz. Check them out. TheHiveProductMarketing.com, the pop-up store. It's only got a few more days left. And once the store closes, we won't be selling merch for a couple of months here. So if you want anything from Edmonton Sports Stock, this is the way to get it. Everything will be shipped on or before December 15th. And if you are a Nasty Club member, reminder, just go into the Nasty Club, click on exclusive offers. Inside there is a promo code or a discount code that you can use on the pop-up store for the merchandise there. And with the hats, we do have, if you go through the options, the flat brim, Oiler color, Riverhawks colors, our original /Stingers colors. We've got Elks colors, and with the curved hat, we've got Oilers colors and our traditional colors as well. So EdmontonSportsTalk.com at the very top, it says Shop EST. Click there, and that's all thanks to our wonderful partner, the Hive Product Marketing, the merch partner, official merch partner of EST. Boom. There you go.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming down to the end. Then we got to put all the orders in.
I can't wait.
I have to order some stuff.
I got like some stuff in my cart from these separate stores that I'm just gonna rock it with. Like I have these styling ideas.
Oh, you're already mixing.
Sorry, I know.
You're already mixing
It's
and
the
matching.
women's touch in this
Yeah,
place.
no,
I
I
think.
like-
You're
Much
mixing and
needed,
matching.
much
Yeah.
Much
Well,
needed.
I
somebody
already
did.
got like a long skirt that I'm gonna wear with one of the gray ones. Like I have this whole idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Somebody did ask earlier what
respect
Jasmine
this.
fashion review of the new PWHL jerseys
We
are.
did that, didn't we?
But
With-
the jerseys were released today. We did the
Oh.
logos, remember?
Oh, was the jerseys
Oh.
released?
Yeah.
they're kind of the same
PWHL.
though. The jerseys, like the color just kind of overtakes.
No,
had
have
a
a
quick
look.
peek.
Have
Okay.
a look.
There's
'cause
the
they
jerseys.
released
Okay.
the jerseys.
I like that picture actually. It shows me all of them.
They did home and away, but I did notice there's a lot of blue. For a 6-team league, there's a lot of blue.
Well, there's an evergreen. red.
Oh, that one's green. I like
Are you
the,
into
Yeah, that
fashion,
to me
Jeff?
looks
You have
like
three
a
daughters.
that looks like an
That's
evergreen.
Yeah.
but like there's blue on blue there.
Oh, I like the
No,
Victoire.
I'm not a fashion
Victoire
guy
is
myself,
good.
but I'm.
Eh,
Oh yeah, okay.
Right?
that's fine. That's pretty good.
I like this one.
This is very helpful to everyone listening.
Yes.
Those are the
They're
Frost.
made with Bauer. Yeah, the Frost.
Frost?
Yeah.
Frost immediately.
Did they just release one version or two?
Sirens
They
is
have a home and
all.
away.
Sirens is okay. I think I didn't love it.
Love it.
I like it now.
You do? Really?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
because it
Well,
has
they
the
only
other
showed
colors.
the one jersey so far.
I saw
What
some.
am I looking at?
Have you seen the
That-
away jerseys?
Yeah, they have both home
New
and away.
season, new style.
Let me see this.
Oh, there's some away.
See?
Oh, yeah,
Maddie
'cause,
always
well, they're
thinks
all
he's
white.
right.
No, I wasn't finding it. It wasn't showing up on.
Yeah.
Their season gets
Yeah.
going at
They
the
all
end
The
did
of
it
this
like
Ottawa one
teams
is
at the end of
terrible.
this month?
Still
Yeah.
terrible because it looks like the Calgary Flames.
Which one? The Ottawa?
I will
Yeah.
come
Ottawa
show the
Trek.
YouTube channel in a moment.
Boston's nice. Can't hate on that. It's classic. The green, classic goes with their city.
Yeah, that one's good.
I don't like this one. I
Which
said
one's
it
that?
wrong the last time.
The
Marielle's
Victoire.
Victoire.
Yeah.
The
No.
charge just looked like the Calgary Flames.
No.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Like,
Just pay attention.
I am listening.
No.
Oh,
I
Matt.
think you're talking to me.
Matthew. Pay attention. All right, he's going to show everybody on camera. Cole Harbor Joe says the Fleet unis are fire. That is the Boston Fleet. Those are nice. They look like a inverted Whalers jersey, Crush.
That's
or logo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're looking at.
The frost, I like because it's like a bit feminine to it. Because it's purple, maybe. I don't know. I like that.
Say that again.
I love the whole concept.
It's a little
Feminine to it.
feminine to it.
Okay. And then what was the confit? I will not be
Duck
having
confit
duck
is
confit.
Duck confit.
delicious.
I will not be having that tonight.
duck confit. I love duck. Like I
I
will,
don't mind
I will
duck.
eat
I
duck
don't mind
anytime.
duck. I'm just
Lamb is
duck
number
on
one to me,
tonight.
but I do like duck.
Lamb's great too.
And then that sounded and looked.
Because duck is so hard to find on a menu.
Yeah.
So if they're
There's not a lot
serving
of
it, you should
people,
take
yeah.
advantage, especially at Range Road.
Oh, they would cook that so well. I'm sure. Don't worry, that will only set you back just a few bucks.
Just stop it with this. I got a text. She's feeling better today, so we're good to go.
You could split the duck. There was like 3 parts to the duck.
not having
you
duck
could
tonight.
share a duck deal.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do.
and you
We're
want
gonna
to
do
eat something
snacks.
easy when you're on like your first date too. You don't want to kind of get all into
Probably
it.
pair of wine with the duck.
Well, there was a
Even
whole
a
I know.
beer.
That was the
Told
one
you I have a
thing.
beer-
There was a
pair
Don't
of
listen
beer?
to me, Crusher.
Yeah.
There was a
You're
whole
right,
pairing.
you're a
Well, I
beer
think
guy.
there was a beer pairing too.
You know what? Maddie and I could go sit in the corner and then we could do a play-by-play and then share it on the Hangout.
No.
So there's an alcohol-free beverage pairing program that they have. They got a classic beverage pairing, which includes a range of wine, beer, or cider and spirits, depending on the menu. So you can go that
Lovely.
way.
Lovely.
And then there's the premium beverage, which is the rare and fine wines.
I saw those prices.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I love
No,
a
thank
good
you.
glass of wine.
It's
Not
nice
tonight.
to go out once in a while and just spend a little bit, though, right?
Yes,
Save
of
up and
course.
spend.
Yes.
Birthday,
And this would be a place
anniversary.
to go do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Have you guys ever been to Vivo Restaurante?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's one of my
awesome.
favorite places. But they would do Will and the guys there would do those wine pairing, like 3-4 course meals.
Yeah.
where they come out, they explain it, and the
Yeah.
chef comes out and explains it all. Really fun night.
That's the
Like-
experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they talk about the wines and the history of the wine,
Yeah.
why it pairs with the food,
And you gotta get
they
the
source
pairing.
locally too, like a lot of the restaurants are doing now. And so they talk about where it came from and how they prepare it. It's a real fun night.
Yes.
Those guys, I love those guys at Vivo.
There used to be, I don't know if River Creek still does it. Maybe they do, but they used to do at times a media, like when they relaunch a restaurant on something or redo their menu, they'd bring the media out for a night.
Oh
And
yeah,
you could get it, you'd have the whole thing. And I went once. Ended up sitting next to
Jackpot.
Clausen, so it was like Clausen and I had a nice little date night where we just sat there. But the chef came out and explained everything, and
Yeah.
you ate it all. It was very delicious,
Fun.
and we
It's a
had a
couple of neat
great
boys.
time.
What a
there.
great night though, hey.
It was
is.
awesome. It was a lot of fun.
because you appreciate the flavors and like you really know what you're searching for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, by each bite.
I'm looking at the mains of Range Road, and it's all delicious.
Oh yeah.
Plattus Farms bison,
Tell
wood
me,
oven roasted
please,
elk
you're-
loin.
How much is the elk
some
loin?
roasted salmon, 55.
55.
Potato and chickpea gnocchi. Like
Ooh.
that sounds delicious.
Can you say that again, please?
Gnocchi.
Okay, good. I was worried you said it wrong. You cannot
What
say
did
it
it?
wrong.
What do you think I said? Gnocchi.
No, it was just odd for a second there.
Gnocchi.
It's gnocchi.
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 Neo.
Yeah.
But gnocchi, you would kind
Gnocchi.
of want an Italian place. Range Road, you kind of go for the meats.
Yes.
I could.
Yes.
I
He's
could
like,
eat.
I'll agree with you now.
I'm trying.
And then he's gonna give us
So that's
shit
where we get the
later.
duck trio. Because the duck trio gets duck breast,
Too
duck
much
pie, and
duck.
duck confit.
Too much duck.
I want to go for the duck confit. You're
I
selling me
know.
on
Duck's
this.
great.
This
but
is
that's
like
too much
sounds
duck.
amazing. It's the same as Sabor had this 3 bison, I think, or what was it? I wonder if they still have it. And it was like 3 different, like the same meat, I think, almost, but done 3 different ways, and it was
That's a good idea.
absolutely fantastic.
Crusher, we did one of those tastings at Vivo, and it was
Love it.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Greg invited me. Greg's
Yeah.
great, and the main course after all the first few plates was like a duck breast, and it was a big duck breast, and it was very like. It was sweet. They had this like maple glaze on it.
Oh,
and
so
it was
good.
and first of all, we were so full. My date and I, and she's like, I can't eat any more of this duck. It's so good, but it's so like potent in terms of flavor and sweetness. And I could barely get through it too.
Yeah.
And I just
Duck
like,
is filling.
yeah, it was very
3
fun.
boars at Sabor. You get pork loin, boar cheeks, and a belly. It's delicious there
Oh,
too.
Can we just have a
Can we-
damn snack?
Can we
tonight?
just make reservations right now?
Well, Sabor or Range Road?
Sabor now.
Oh, you're talking about Sabor?
3 boars was at Sabor.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
The
Range
3
Road.
ducks is at Range Road.
Sabor is great.
Yeah, that's all great.
Sabor
Sabor is
All
so
this-
great.
Yeah.
We should do Crusher like a full like. We could have a EST, like
the culinary exchange or something.
Love it.
Yeah,
and we
love
could
it.
spend time afterwards, like where we could go through our experience and discuss the food, just like how like Edify magazine always does their best stuff
Yeah.
when they go eat. Actually, funny enough about that is Steve Sandor came to me a couple Oiler games ago and was like, "Does anyone at your office are they any foodies?" I was like, no, I said Eric was.
Oh, Eric.
And so I got Eric in touch, and Eric might, well, he's got to figure out what's entailed with it. Eric might be part of the food group committee, if you will, of the next Edify
love
magazine
that.
Best of Edmonton.
That is great.
so cool.
I
Eric's a
put a
good
lot of
foodie.
value in that, right? I like getting people's opinions of
Yeah.
restaurants, especially if it's somebody you follow a bit and you know what their tastes are like, you know what they like, kind of, because there's always a bias.
Eric and his wife are good.
Yeah, but I love that stuff. And then because it gets you going. Like, what's the place you said? I got to make sure you tell me with the machines. What's
Oh,
that place?
food repair shop?
Yeah,
Food,
food.
yeah, so I have not been there,
Yes.
but now we're gonna go. So
Yes.
I got to make sure I get that. But
bet.
always
You'll
looking
like
for,
it, Crusher.
yeah, always
It
looking
was-
for cool new
I thought it
places
was
to
neat.
go.
Super neat.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Like when you walk in, it's so picturesque. Like you want to take pictures
Yeah.
for your social.
Yeah, okay, I love it.
It's a good spot.
Calvin C says, I hope this isn't a first date going to Range Road. I'd be like going to Boston Pizza
It
instead.
is.
LOL.
That's why I
It
said
is a
happy
first
hour
date,
to
yeah.
Tommy. I'm like, you should have done a nice happy hour somewhere.
So
Somebody put it like, go to Range Road. I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't been there. And then they're like, everyone else is like, do you know how expensive it is? I'm like, it's fine, whatever.
And then I was like, make reservations.
big date night.
Can't get in there.
Yeah.
that's fine. Do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Splurge once in a while.
I
It's
don't
like-
care. Like,
Oh, Abutski. Range Road sounds fancy, Tommy. Time for nostril waxing.
Not a chance.
That's nice and ready for tonight.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
You got to do that the day before. Actually, I don't have that post-nasal drip right now, so I'm pretty good.
But I like neat little spots and different spots to go.
Yeah. Like out at Spruce Grove, Barbacoa, the
Yes.
new
Oh,
little
I've heard of
steakhouse
that,
over
yeah.
I heard of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive, but the food, these guys put some serious thought into their foods. Like they just launched their new fall menu. And it's great food though. And they have the wine pairings and everything there too, but really cool little place. It's actually in an industrial area, so not where you'd think typically a nice restaurant, higher end restaurant would be, but just found all these cool little spots. Another great one out there.
There's one, my old math teacher, Truth, in St. Albert, kind of industrial area, or like kind of tucked away, MD Distillery, and they
I've
had
heard
a
of it.
great menu too.
Yes.
Yeah, and then their vodkas and stuff
Yep.
all in house. They brought in
Is it
all
all
the
glass kind of?
yeah.
I heard
They
that on.
they brought in their equipment from Poland,
Wow.
to make their vodkas and stuff, and yeah, so it's legit. I need to give them more love.
I think I've talked to those guys. Are they? I wonder if they're at the St. Albert Market. Do they have a booth at the
They
St.
go,
Albert?
yeah, they're at
I've
every-
talked to
yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
I love those guys. They're so
Me
passionate.
too. I love Truth because he didn't fail me in math.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Awesome.
barely got me over the hump.
Hey, but those guys, you talk to those guys about their craft though.
Yes.
Like, and they have a great display at the St. Albert Farmers Market. At least I've seen them there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go behind the whole thing about where they got their equipment, but their whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I love
We
it.
have these types of spots
Yeah.
in our city and surrounding area, and I think that's good that it gets recognized.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You need to pitch that for the new year. the show,
Okay.
like the version.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody's saying, what is the
weekly
Italian
episode of
restaurant
just-
Leon was talking about in his
Food?
recent interview?
Food and
I think that was
drink,
Allegro.
and drinks.
Yeah.
You guys, a review.
Allegro.
Sorry, Maddie. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, we're just.
Yeah.
Bianco's
Planning
my
this all.
favorite.
No,
Bianco's always solid.
Leon in an
Yeah.
interview said that there was an Italian restaurant in Edmonton that he absolutely loved. And he
Yeah.
was always there. And I think it's Allegro.
Oh yeah.
Tom, you've been to Dosk,
Also,
obviously,
somebody's saying
right?
shush
Oh, yeah.
to you,
Yeah, Dosk
Jeff.
is really good.
Oh,
Barbacoa is a hidden gem, so they don't want you spoiling and getting people
got
to.
you. Okay, I get it.
And then somebody says, have any of you been to bodegas? If so, how is it? I'm coming into town for my birthday on Saturday and going there, but I've never been.
It's
Oh, it's
great.
good.
I love bodegas.
It's consistent.
Yeah.
So on bodegas it's part of Sabor.
Yeah.
It's just tapas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all tapas. It's not full menu and
Delicious.
stuff. But you're all ordering. a
Cool
bunch of stuff.
scene, hey.
There's
Yeah.
this new restaurant that everybody's raving about. Is the old Uchilinos?
So Reed was telling me about this.
Yes.
Is that it?
I heard it was unreal.
There's a new spot. They opened up a new
reservations, sorry.
spot. And what was it called?
I saw Olio.
Ulos?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I drive by it on my way home.
Yeah,
every
so
day.
it's like
Were you
the
supposed to be
hottest
going
ticket
there
in
or
town
something?
right now.
Let's
you can't
go.
get it's like a month wait to get resos. But I'll do my
Yes.
review on that one.
All right.
Yeah, so there's that place because he had Corso 32, which is closed.
Used to
in
be the
Uchilino.
best place. It sucks
I never
that it
got there.
closed. Oh,
I
unreal.
never got there. I always wanted to. And then he has Bar
I never
Henry.
took- Bar Henry, don't
Which-
stop
Is-
talking about her. It's
Isn't
my
that
secret
Tristan,
place.
your
I am
boy?
very
Yeah,
upset that
I'm
they
gonna
put up
go.
a sign.
I know.
I love it. I love it when everybody say, don't talk about my place.
This
We don't want
Bar
to,
Henry.
I don't want to have to wait too long.
Tom's told me about Bar Henry a few times because it's next to with the Henry Singer, whatever that
Yeah.
kid is,
Yeah.
by the rink. And every time I walk by, I'm like, where the hell is this? Because you can't, I'm like, there's a clothing store there, Tommy. Like,
It's a
where the hell is this
speakeasy.
place?
And there's like one
And it was-
nondescript door.
With just a little sign on, like a little picture on their window that if you
If
didn't
you
know it
don't-
was there,
If
you
you
would walk
don't
by.
know where it is, you don't need to
But
know
now they
where
put
it
this
is.
big neon sign up out, and they're like calling
they did.
attention to it, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Okay.
did.
It's a huge neon sign that's like Bar Henry, and it's very easy to notice.
So good. It's tiny and the food is great. I know I can't make grilled cheese, but they do an Italian grilled cheese,
Okay.
and it's nothing like you expect.
I have an idea. Why don't we start an EST food club? No, I'm serious.
Once a month, ESTers
No,
meet
but
up
let's
somewhere.
Let's all like
and
get
try.
together somewhere and try food.
No, but we pick a
That'd be
restaurant, we
alright.
set it up with them, we get the EST, the nasties all together, which could be just a total.
Look out.
No, but I think it would be
Nasties for a
fun.
reason.
That
And
would be
we
fun.
go to a restaurant. Maybe we
Reservation
have-
of 30 people, please.
We're gonna need all the
but then we
tables.
review it.
I think
That'd be cool.
that'd
I
be a
know,
lot of fun.
I just because again, watching the Bear a little bit, but my daughter in the business a little bit. So much respect for these people who
Yeah.
run these businesses, man. And Edmonton's just got a cool scene out there.
Yeah.
I love it. And some of these places you're talking about, I didn't even know about.
Go see my boy Scott at Honey Honey.
I knew you were gonna pitch one because I'm going. I gotta go to that.
It's literally right outside our building.
Yeah.
And my buddy Scott, yeah, he worked on the Making Cocoa documentary, Ice
okay,
Guardians, and he's been in the bar and restaurant scene for a long time as well. And he opened up Honey Honey, and it was very popular
And
during the
their
playoffs.
drinks are strong,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
That's
they're
why I want to
very-
go.
They have one that's like the zombie.
Okay.
And I was there with a date, and I'm like, should we order this? And the lady beside me was like, I'm drinking one right now, and I can't even have one more sip. And so the bartender's like, I'll take it, and he just crushed it.
Love
That's
that.
my
And
kind
it
of
had
place
like
right
4
there.
out of 5 skulls on the menu, and I
Oh,
looked at her,
what?
I'm like, no chance.
Sold, Tommy.
No zombie.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been there either.
It's awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
PR Montenegro says his wife Ginger and I are in.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Nice.
They're already
See?
building this out.
Ginger.
We could start a food club. The EST Food Club,
That's
man.
a great idea.
I like
I
this
think it would be
idea.
fun, man. Again, just respect.
Eats.
You know, we talk about respect for these elite athletes who've been in, right? But respect for those people who put together a food and a menu.
Curate that menu and make
Yes,
it
like that's a skill,
perfect
man.
that dish.
Like when we look at talent development, guys, like, you know, the research on pure talent development, and it's a very controversial topic right now.
Yeah.
And we talk about it on our show quite a bit. And what our go-to guy is Dr. Joe Baker. He's over in University of Toronto now, but he and his group have really sort of led the way globally in this idea of talent and talent development. But what people don't realize is when you go back into the deep research, and I've done this, you know, looking at, okay, what is the pathway for greatness, or whatever greatness is, your potential, or your potential, or your potential, right? And you need to understand sort of the ebb and flow and the science behind that. Most of the science and talent development, sport is just sort of not an outlier, but it's one piece of the puzzle. The data looks at musicians quite a bit, and the life development of a top high-end musician, but also the culinary arts is very focused on in terms of talent and talent development.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's very, very present in the data and the research out there. So the culinary arts, music, arithmetic, academics is there. Hard to measure though, right? But sport, of course, is just so measurable. So it's one of the big ones. But it's interesting to me that the culinary arts are constantly present when we look at the concept of talent and talent development and talented individuals.
Wow.
There is a craft there, I guess, is my point. And so when you get these unbelievable places in a city like Edmonton, man, respect and get out there.
It's like food culture is massive in our generation now.
Yeah.
Everybody from your generation, from mine and one younger, we all love food. I think we all are foodies, you know? And I think it never had it wasn't really recognized when we were younger. And now like we're just talking about the bear, we're talking about your daughter, we're like, it's actually a big deal.
Yep.
It's part of our lifestyle now.
And the culture, like the different the different foods in Edmonton, it's
Yeah.
not just like barbecue and brisket,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
You can, some of the Indian food I've tasted here,
Yes.
some of the best I've ever tasted anywhere. Like honestly,
Sushi,
Yes.
Chinese.
Sushi, exactly.
Yeah.
Best Indian food. Where?
My mom.
yeah.
My mama?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to come for a
I'm gonna bring
family
it
meal.
during Christmas time. I'm gonna bring the guys' food here.
Oh
so
my
come
gosh!
by.
Please
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah.
Heads up on that.
I
Because
will.
Jasmine brought in some mimosas. You made them?
Those are bought.
Oh, those
are hard
bought?
to make.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My old roommate Kunal, his mom would send some when we lived together before he got married and moved away and became a man. And I stayed a young boy. He would bring her samosas, and they were
homemade.
Yes.
homemade.
Oh, I can't even
from
imagine.
scratch.
Yeah, those are the
I
best ones.
can't
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The ramen scene here.
Yes.
Like around my
Ramen.
daughters are into the ramen. So they take me around to these little just fantastic like flavor sensations.
Pho is huge.
Pho,
Yeah.
I've never
There's-
tasted this before.
There's a Japanese barbecue place on Jasper Ave called Gukaku.
Oh, I've seen it.
And
I've
you
never
make,
been.
You make
I've
it.
been.
It's so good.
So
It's
good.
fun.
Yeah.
My
So,
brother from
on the table, it's like you
on the table, you got the grill in the middle.
yeah.
They tell you what to do.
Love it.
Don't burn yourself and all this stuff. And it is fantastic. My brother, before they brought it here, my brother was living in Vancouver for years and years. He's like, okay, when I went down there, he's like, we're going to Gukaku. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't eat seafood. Like, he's like, no, you have no idea. This is like Japanese barbecue, and you make the food yourself. I'm like, I can barely make KD. Let's figure. He's like, trust me, and it was the best. And then when they brought
Fun.
one here, I love it.
Yeah.
What I like about that is, for example, it could be 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. They'll give you like an idea. Of,
Yeah.
This is how much it is. Like $100 for like 4 of you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, that's a great
Perfect.
price for unlimited, like literally unlimited food.
And it's, very healthy
Yeah,
portions.
exactly.
Huh, fantastic.
It's so good.
There you go.
Again, to share and to talk about it. And then someone's, doing the activity of grilling
Yeah,
it.
and you're like,
and
don't
what-
touch that. It's mine.
Yeah.
And then my mom would put like, we did a family gukaku night, and my mom was putting shrimp on, and I'm like, don't touch it on my meat, Mom. I got my like little slice.
I don't
of
let my
steak.
peas touch my potatoes.
sorry. Sorry, my baby.
This is the EST Hangout. Tommy, Matt, Crusher, Jasmine with you here
I know, I love
on
when he
Edmonton
does
Sports
that.
Talk, your clear
I know.
choice for Edmonton Sports. We're on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. It's time now for the keyword for the EST Flyaway to Los Angeles. Presented by the 780, a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. Lame-ass, low-budget local shop. You can catch them out online, 780.com. That's the word 7, the number 80.com, or in-store. They got 5 locations in and around the city: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. December 26th through to the 30th. Flights, hotel, car rental, Warriors, Clippers, Intuit Dome, Cards, Rams at SoFi Stadium. Edmonton taking on either Anaheim or LA. That's the entire prize that you couldn't win. All you have to do is text the keyword to 780-218-9999, which is
Artistic. The word is artistic.
a good keyword for today, considering
Yeah.
the conversation we're having.
Legit.
Yes, yeah.
It's because
These
chefs,
chefs
when they
can-
do their plating, are artistic.
They are.
A lot of artistic people in LA in various different ways.
Yeah.
In sports, in music, all of it. That's all in LA. So Artistic, 780-218-9999. I will step out right away here and give someone a call and then bring them on the air here as they will be the next qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA presented by the 780.
Very hungry right now.
So like new food culture,
talk.
also just like the plating, as I just mentioned, for Artistic is like that never used to be a thing, I feel like. And now it's like you eat with your eyes beforehand. You got to see the
Oh.
presentation.
Okay,
So
question.
Range Road is going to have it. Take a picture for me, thanks.
I'm not gonna be that guy. Question, because like back in the day, like you would go to a buffet or whatever, and it's like that's your night out.
Ponderosa,
Love to
man.
get buffet.
Yeah,
Love a
yeah.
good
Does anybody
buffet.
remember Ponderosa?
No.
Or the Ponderosa Steakhouse? Somebody will remember Ponderosa. Oh, yeah.
Right, like
buffet. Speaking of buffet.
have like Jasmine was alluding to, has it evolved collectively where now it's like we go to these little spots, or were we all like, okay, Olive Garden tonight, and that's our
I think if I'm paying for a meal and an experience, then I know what I'm going to be getting into. And I expect it to be unreal from, like I said, eating with my eyes to tasting it. And obviously the service.
yeah. Service is always good.
So if it's like Olive Garden, it's like, yo, it's a quick meal, whatever. I know whatever. It's going to be a basic.
I just use that as
pasta.
an example.
Yeah.
No,
well, I
for
think
sure.
Eric or Zaki wrote that. What about Olive Garden?
Yeah, but that's a place to go. Like, like if we're gonna, it's a good question.
Yeah.
If we're gonna meet with the boys, or we're gonna go talk sports science, or somebody's in town, hey, I'll meet you at Earl's on 170th or something,
Exactly.
right? Because
Happy
we know
hour.
what we're getting.
Yeah.
We know what we're getting.
Everybody's satisfied.
Everybody's gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
But when I'm planning a night with my wife, or one of my old buddies are coming into town, we try to pick one of these cool little Edmonton spots, and
Exactly.
it's fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
That's something that like my girlfriends and I do all the time. We're always recommending sending profiles of places, looking at reviews, and we get really excited about it. It's an experience and an event now. It's not just gonna go grab a bite.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the concept. EST food scene, man.
And while you're eating, you could also get a drink in the official drink of the EST Hangout. It's the Finnish Long Drink, Legend of 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. They've got actually a partnership that they've done with the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh,
so you might see their signs and stuff, Rogers Place. So you could get it at Rogers Place, I believe, is soon. If it's not already there, it's coming. The Finnish Long Drink. You could also go to longdrink.com/Canada, enter your postal code, and find which liquor store near you might have it.
That was a wicked segue.
It really
Like-
was. It
Like
flowed.
just, I'm in awe. Like those professional pitchers and those NHL hockey players. Oh, this is an example of broadcasting excellence.
Yes.
You're welcome.
That was like
That's the waxing of the nose. Is just really opening things up. I'm getting more air to the brain, and I'm able to do things better. I'm gonna go step out quickly, just give someone a call, and I will leave you guys to it. Keep your phone on.
Keep your phone on. and
Oh, here
somebody
comes the
calls.
call. I
Okay,
love it.
Jasmine, what else you got for us?
How about I want to know more about Jeff. I also have some questions I was gonna ask you, but
Fire away.
I'll ask when like Maddie's back because they're more like sports questions. But you know what? What'd you think about the game yesterday?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? So, of course, the Oilers are one of the crushed teams to watch. I think last and every year we have teams to watch. Just so everybody knows on our show, we will at the start of the season, like the start of the NFL season, we've got teams to watch. Kansas City, of course, is a team to watch because are they
Undefeated.
can they make it happen? And so far, knock on wood, so good.
Dynasty.
It's fun to watch, right? And then, another team to watch for the last 3 years has been the Cleveland Browns because horrifically terrible, right? They went through the turbulent turnovers and, new ownership comes in, just like the Astros back in 2011 were the crushed team to watch in baseball. New ownership with a distinct and succinct approach to winning a championship. And they did it. If you follow the Astros over the next 4 or 5 years, there's tons to learn here, guys. And I know there's in organizations, there's people in the organizations that are watching the trends out there. Everybody should be looking at the Dodgers, for example, because
If crush really quickly, the Dodgers isn't not just like throwing money at everything.
they do. And
Yeah.
this is why you have to watch the Dodgers, right?
Okay.
Because they do have the money, but also if you look at how they develop and support their players, once you're in that system, there's no other team you want to be involved in because they're not scrimping, money's not an issue, and they want to be champions. On the other end is the Tampa Bay Rays with one of the smallest payrolls in baseball, constantly competing in the postseason. There's a culture be like no other at the Tampa Bay Rays. You should be watching them. The Oilers are also interesting, right? With the change of coaching, change of front office staff, and that's always a dangerous play. You look at the most successful franchises, what do you see behind the scenes? Consistency in the roster, in the players who are there, the coaching staff, but also front office. When you start seeing turbulence, expect turbulence, right? So the Oilers are a team to watch coming off of last year's incredible turnaround. Like in sport, that was a special thing. Think about this. And this is the way I'm looking at the Oilers this year because I love them, right? And I love what they do behind the scenes in the organization. I know some of the guys there very well. And coming off of last year, this is kind of the way me and a couple of my sports buddies were talking about it. You just finished climbing Mount Everest, right? And you're back down to base camp, and then you got this condensed time, and now you're at the bottom of the mountain again.
Yeah.
And you've got to climb it, and you got to climb it right to the top. And man, what a daunting task. I wonder, and again, I don't know this, but I wonder if you went and talked to the guys, the players I'm talking about coming into the season. Everybody's always, hey, awesome. But I wonder, guys, with that short off season and with the staff as well, if you go, okay, here we go again. Let's go, man. The season into the postseason, into the championship, the Stanley Cup Finals. Whew. I wonder if that's not daunting when you start this season. I wonder if they're not sort of with some of the turnover, just kind of getting back into the groove of things. Give them time, of course. The talent's there.
Exactly. We spoke many times, like, is it still kind of the hangover from last season?
That has to be done with.
And in my opinion, when
they had a month.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But when McDavid got injured, in my opinion, I think the hangover is gone. I see the hunger back. I see them playing better. They're just missing shots. People are like, what's missing in the Oilers? Nothing's missing. It's just fixing. That's the issue here.
You get angry.
Yeah. I
love them too. That's why.
But I think you need to, because Tommy, we were talking about it. They lead the league in shots on net. So, that's great. But they're fourth in score, or fourth lowest, or second lowest in scoring.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think they're coming out of it. They're going to turn it around. The talent's there. It's going to be fun to watch. And that's what sport's all about. I'm watching these guys. They're our team to watch. Last night was just, guys, it can't happen. So learn from that.
You can't take a penalty like that. Yeah.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
But the learning has to stop at some point, man. Like we can't, that just can't happen.
It's coming slowly. We're doing it.
I agree with Jasmine, but Krushell, the learning aspect that you're talking about, like what's left to learn? There are no more lessons. You've lost in every single round of the playoffs, including a bonus round that doesn't exist anymore, the play-in round. There are no more lessons. It's now just go do it.
Execute.
Yes.
Execute.
Yeah.
Deliberate play. See some of the turnovers and the mistakes being made. Oh,
come on.
So close though. But if we were to go back and just sort of talk to the guys before the plays actually happened, what a totally different game. It's just, those are the things. And I'm excited to see if they can actually just do that.
I think they can.
Be more. No, there's no doubt. The talent is there, top to bottom.
Nurse got a point yesterday, everybody. Like,
he had a good game. Him and Kulak were very good.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got our qualifier for the EST Flyway to Los Angeles, and he is now on the line, and that is Emrys. Emrys, congratulations yet again that you are in the mix to go to Los Angeles. If you are the winner going to LA, who would you take with you?
The wife would definitely get first right of refusal.
Very smart man right there. If you win, what would you be most excited to go do? Is it go see the NFL, NBA, NHL?
I think checking out that Intuit Dome would be fantastic.
Ever been to an NBA game before?
I have not, no.
It is a wild experience, and it'd be even better, I'm sure, at that stadium. Well, Em, you're in the mix. Congratulations yet again, and all the best. Hopefully you're the best of luck on possibly being the winner on November 29th.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Have a great day. And were you doing round of clicks there?
Yeah.
Oh, round of clicks.
That's awesome.
He said NBA game too, right?
Yeah, he wants to go see Intuit Dome.
Love it.
2 more chances to qualify for the EST Flyaway. That will be on the EST afternoons with Gager and Hernan, as well as the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I was just looking at her qualifying sheet. We've only got 3 more weeks after this of qualifying. Like, we're giving that away 3 weeks from
Time
tomorrow, I
flies.
believe it is. Because we get all of next week, although it's Remembrance Day, so there's one less day. There's the full week after that, and then there's only 4 more days, and then it'll be the 29th, and then we're giving this away, and we're sending someone to Los Angeles.
Love it.
Let's go.
So cool.
So keep listening. Keep calling. Not the chances less and less every single day.
And he picked NBA.
Would be his thing because it's tickets to all of them.
Yeah.
But his favorite thing, or the thing he'd most be excited
Yeah,
about.
that was
seeing in
his.
the
That was
stadium.
his.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, so last night on the we're Wednesday nights. Our show, Crush Performance, Wednesday nights, right? Depending on the Oilers game. So we were 6:30 last night. I had a really fun show last night, guys. It was a round table with Corey Graham, Mark Majot, and the old co-host from
Yes.
Crush, Craig Moon, and Moo was on.
What a great group. Like, if you asked some of us here, like, what create the greatest round table, that would be it almost. It is awesome.
And I was a little devious in this sort of get together. I was so looking forward to this though, because they're big Yankee fans. Maddie, I would have had you.
Owner and Majot are.
Yeah, I would have had you on
Corey's
too, but of course you're so
Cubs
busy
fan.
here. You're so busy here that you couldn't have recorded with us. But that being said, it was awesome conversation. So the gist of the conversation, guys, though, was context. So the title of the show is called "The Best of the Best." You know, getting context of what's going on in sport, because we always talk to even our pro guys. Like if you have aspirations of, just like with the Oilers or any young player coming up or a young Canadian player with dreams of playing elite sport, you better understand what that world looks like, right? Because I think a lot of people are disillusioned as to what that world is actually like. So it was such a fun show, guys. I just asked them questions like, what is the hardest schedule in sport and why? What is the toughest championship to win and why? Here was the favorite conversation, because I didn't preface the guys on this one. I kind of give them a heads up on all the other ones, but then I dropped the bomb on them. If you had a time machine and you could go back and see any athlete in the history of time compete at the height of their performance, the height of their abilities, who would you go see? But it just opened up this unbelievable conversation about elite performers in sport. It's so much fun. But
I know
again,
my answer.
Yeah, do you? Who?
Oh, Muhammad Ali.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
like Usain Bolt would be the other one, but I saw Usain Bolt. I would love to go see Usain Bolt in person.
Bolt,
But
good call.
I immediately know I'd love to have go seen Muhammad Ali.
Ali was in the conversation. Majot said Mike Tyson. And I said, Tyson over Ali. And he said, just because the power. He says, it's going to be over in 30 seconds. It's going to be over before my food gets there. But he said, I'd just love to see Tyson. But I said
That's
Ali
fair.
in the combat of sports. Do you have an athlete? Do you think about it? Or?
You know what's so funny? Like you guys kind of threw me off because first I'm like, well, Michael Jordan, right? But
That would be incredible.
right?
That was my pick.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Jordan was my pick.
Yeah.
He was kind of in the height while I was coming up in sport, right? So I got to see him, but I never saw him play live. I never saw him play.
Okay.
So he's one guy in the history of sport. I'll preface this again. I was invited to watch the Oilers when when Connor McDavid was in his rookie year, the rookie game, right?
Yep.
I was invited to come that day just to watch with the guys. And so we're up at the top there, and you see the thing on TV. TV doesn't do it justice, just so everybody knows. But he was doing things in that rookie game that were just so abnormal. Like you just never seen that stuff before. And I would have to think that Jordan would be seeing Jordan play. He was just at such a level that the players he played against had no way to calibrate what he was doing. And I think that early in McDavid's career, that's the same. He's just his speed, the way he moves, abnormal that he just threw it off. But just such an unbelievable thing to see, right? I saw Gretzky live, which is great. And the reason this came up is because a couple of years ago, I've never seen Sidney Crosby. They were coming to town, and I'm going, okay, Deb and I got tickets to the game, and he was out because of an injury. And I'm not lying, I was like a little kid, like, oh man, come on.
Shucks.
But I've never seen Sidney Crosby play live, but seeing an athlete live. So Jordan was my pick as well. I would
Attaboy.
So so now this is going in person to see them.
if you could get in a time machine,
Then I think that it's Ali or Bolt for me.
What about you?
Bolt.
Bolt would be the other one.
I'd want to compare like now to old timey legends. So I'd want to see like Babe Ruth or like Rocket Richard, Bobby or something like that.
Richard would
to
be amazing.
Like, to have a context of where the sport was at back then and like how dominant they were. And then if you have that mind or you have that knowledge of what the game is like in our generation to compare, I'd be like, those are the ones I'd want to go see.
So the question was past or present. It could be somebody now. So somebody said, I would go see Ohtani, but I would go back. If I had this one opportunity, I'd love to go see Ohtani play live, which you could probably still do now, but go back and see Ali, like, right?
That'd be
I would
cool.
seeing Ohtani would be probably pretty. Craig Moonen had a great one. Craig Moonen went back. He goes, look, I'm a big baseball geek. He goes, if I could, I would go back to the race for 60, the McGuire, Sosa, steroid era craziness. Yeah. He says that's brought him back to baseball. He goes to go see a game live because they actually played each other at one point, and it was later in the season. He said, that's where I would go. So I thought that was interesting.
If I was sticking with baseball, Roy Halladay would have been. I had such mad respect for Roy.
You worked with him?
Yeah, we came up together. He was in the minor leagues with me up through,
The guy, I don't think he might have been the last one that was pitching almost complete games, as many complete games as he did in a year. Yeah. That guy would pitch 10, 11 complete games in a season.
Yeah.
How many times are we going to see guys complete games nowadays? Like, I just respected the hell out of Roy Halladay, and I would have loved to have seen him. Somebody does say Serena Williams.
Yeah.
That's great.
She was on our list.
I would jump to Roger Federer
Yeah.
to have seen him. That guy didn't break a sweat. The guy would go through 5 sets at Wimbledon and it looked like he just got out of his car and was walking up to pick up
Legit.
a
But Serena looks like an athlete. I want to see her in person.
Yeah,
and how
Serena
jacked she
was
is.
on our list for sure too, of somebody that you'd want to see live at Wimbledon, just at the peak of her, just dominating, right? It's so different. It's just so different inside of the elite
To
levels of
Tommy's
sport.
point of just comparing errors, I think for basketball, it'd be Wilt Chamberlain.
Sure.
To go see, okay, how good was, what are we missing with, we don't talk about Wilt, I think, enough.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what have we missed by not talking about him and not seeing it as much? So
What
I would
about
go Wilt.
Shaq? Just because the freak of a human,
Right?
he looks, right? Like how cool would that just to,
point.
see him? Like dang,
How does a mountain like that play basketball so well?
exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
What a great anomaly, right? That's another great one.
So, VR
Kobe,
quickly
there's a few
said,
here
prime
now.
Nolan
Yeah.
Ryan, please. Screw Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan can screw off.
There's a
He
history
took
here.
the trappers from us.
He did.
I will never respect Nolan Ryan. Do not bring that name into here, VR. For the schedule, what was the answers for toughest schedule? How did that go?
Yeah. So Craig Moonen picked the NBA as one of the toughest schedules.
Cool.
The conversation, of course, revolved around baseball because 162 games and now 187 days, just grueling. And then I shared the story.
That's how many days it is? 187.
It's now. It used to be 182. So they added a few years ago. They added extra days, hoping that it might change the injury trends.
Right.
And interesting enough, guys, the year after the addition of those 4 extra rest days in the season, we saw for the first time in 8 years where we saw increasing injury rates. For the first time, I think it was 7 or 8 years, we saw a 4% decrease in the injuries at the big league level. Still historical gains in the minor league level, but maybe could it have been those 4 extra rest days changing the trends at a major sport? 4% is massive, by the way. So it was interesting. So that was the conversation there. But we got talking about the volume of play. So we had this player in the Blue Jays, Mark Hendrickson, who actually played in the NBA. And he was kind of like Jordan, right?
Oh.
Decided to leave the NBA to go try baseball. He was a pitcher though. And so he came to us and I remember he signed with the Blue Jays as a minor league player. Pulls up in his first day in this big stretch limo, right? Just total big league. He comes into minor league camp. Rude awakening, man. I don't think he knew what minor league baseball was all about. But I remember he worked his way up to AAA and then he joined us in Toronto at the big leagues. He had a good big league career, guys.
Really?
Yes, worked with Mark Hendrickson, one of my favorite players of all time. But he told me we were on a bus from Skydome to we're traveling somewhere after a game. He goes, I said, so hey man, it's early in his big league career. He goes, and again, minor leagues, all buses, right? AAA, they'll fly a bit, but it's commercial, right? So totally different than anything he'd experienced before. But he goes, look, from the minor leagues, he goes, especially here, he goes, this schedule, he goes, this is NBA schedule has nothing on this, man. He goes, this is the most brutal thing ever. And he was a starting pitcher every 5 days, which I believe outside of the NFL is one of the best schedules you could ever dream of in sport.
Yeah.
But that's coming from the mouths of the babes there. That's a guy who played in the NBA for many years.
Wow.
Why is NBA more? Why is it harder?
No, he said the Major League Baseball schedule leaps and bounds harder than the NBA.
Oh, yeah,
more
exactly.
demanding.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he
Okay,
said
yeah.
compared to the NBA, he says NBA is nothing compared to
I
this
bet.
baseball schedule. which is day after day after day after
Wow.
day. And even on your off days, they're travel days. So very rare. There was one year I had 3 off days at home that weren't travel days. And even then we're in there, for us, the staff, we're in there rehabbing guys, right? But for the players, I mean, it's athlete management at its finest, man.
Okay, just unbelievable. Thank you for bringing that up, Crusher. So he played for the Sixers from 96, 97. Then he went to the Kings 97, 98, Sacramento. Then he went and played for the Nets in 99. Then he played for the Cavaliers in 99 to 2000. Then he goes to baseball with you guys, and he retired in 2011.
Yeah.
He played NBA
Big-
and MLB. 6'9" pitcher.
Yeah, 6'9", giant, like Randy Johnson kind of height, but just total professional though, right? But to make that transition.
Made his MLB debut 2002, right around,
Yep.
and it says he was in Dunedin when you were there.
Yep.
And then his last appearance was 2011 with Baltimore.
Yeah, love it.
He's a giant.
Giant.
For the schedule, I think we're getting to a point where actually, if you were a top soccer player, they're getting into a point where they're playing too much, and that's becoming one of the toughest schedules because they're really getting upset. Because if you were a top player, you play your season 3 times a week in general, from August through to the end of May. But then when there are breaks, there's international play.
That's it.
And you're gone to international the entire time. And then when your season ends, now there seems to be some sort of other international tournament that takes place, and they get like 4 weeks off in the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did talk about that, not on the air. We talked about that off the air. But the fact that these guys, I think the thing that really threw everybody off, and soccer fans, please chime in here. The fact that I would go like this and you'd be on the ground for 10 minutes just kind of took soccer out of the conversation.
Well, but that doesn't happen
joking.
enough. That
No,
doesn't happen
I'm
much.
I'm joking. We were joking.
No, I know. But in terms of a grueling schedule, these players are getting worn down like we've never seen in the sport.
And in soccer, it's starting earlier and earlier and earlier.
And there's almost no off season anymore.
Right.
And they're wanting to add more soccer.
Yeah.
FIFA's wanting to add more competitions, and these players are like, when do we get time off?
Yeah.
And that's becoming actually a grueling. If you are a top player, if you're not a top player, when the international windows happen, you don't play.
But
you
we
get
were-
time off.
we were-
It's the top players that actually suffer the most.
Yeah, and we were talking about the top sports, right?
Yeah.
And we did talk about soccer. Joking aside, that was part of the conversation.
But even if like you're in the Premier League, if you're a lower team, you're not playing in Champions League.
Right.
You're not playing. So when you're low, you play less. But if you're at Manchester City, if you're at Liverpool, and you are a player that's of a top talent that your country wants you, that's where it loads on you.
And it's nonstop.
Yes.
Right? It's nonstop. So none of us were really familiar. That's why it's been great to have you on. We'll have to visit that one again because without question, right? And I think one of the things with baseball is it's day after day after day after day. Like it's just it's a grind. It's an absolute grind. And
I could imagine that there's a lot of days you wake up and you don't know what city you're in,
You
or
don't.
what day it is.
I
of the
can't remember
week.
what my hotel room is. I don't even, we tried to walk to the ballpark as much as we could, depending where the hotel was,
Yeah.
just to get to see the city a bit. But here, hotel, ballpark, hotel, ballpark, hotel, ballpark.
I remember, well, especially if you're on the training staff, that's where you got to be, is at the ballpark. I remember when on long road trips, especially when you're doing quick hops, I would have to write with a Sharpie on my room key, my room number.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
like, you're in this room today, you idiot.
Yeah.
And that's how I would remember.
I'm the
That's
same.
smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. So it was a great conversation. And then the conversation from there came the most difficult championship to win. What do you guys think? The most difficult championship.
the
Stanley
ones
Cup?
I'm going to go with, I think people won't agree with fully. I'm going to take like national titles out of this. Like winning the World Cup's hard because it's only every 4 years.
Right.
So I'm taking those on.
Yes.
I think yearly. The two I go with is I think winning the Memorial Cup or winning March Madness. Memorial Cup is you have to be 3 out of the 4 teams, you have to go win your league, and then you got to go win this next tournament to be the champion of the CHL. And it's a short term where if you make an error early, you're not playing well, you won't win that. I think Memorial Cup is very difficult. And March Madness, there's no mistakes.
One and
you
done.
lose one game, you have the one bad quarter maybe, and you're out.
Yep. Yep.
There is no best of 3. There's no best of 7. There's none of that. It's one game. It's 2 games each weekend that you have to play. Neutral sites for the most part. You don't get a home crowd, away crowd. That to me is those two I would go with as the hardest.
Beautiful. Neither of those got into our conversation, but it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, it is because Maddie answered.
March Madness? No, but March Madness. Think about that. It didn't. Maybe we were so focused on the pro sports, but if you're thinking just championships, March Madness is almost impossible.
What do you think?
I think Stanley Cup for a few reasons. I think because of cap space, we can't have super teams to just go win. I think the injury for hockey players is much more worse than other leagues. And I think the game schedules, all that stuff. So in my opinion, maybe I'm being a slight bias because I saw that Stanley Cup, and I just was like traumatized by it. But I think it is in the NHL.
I'm with you on that one, actually.
Thank you. I was worried that Jeff's gonna attack me on this. Like,
I'm
girl,
with you. I think
I know what you're talking about.
because like the brutality of and that schedule sucks plus the travel. I know now they've gone to the extra day between games in the Cup final, and that's not going away, by the way. Trying to help with that recovery and all of it. But yeah, I think that one, mental grind, physical grind.
Yep. And the combative part of it was big in our conversation. The NHL was right there as one of the toughest ones, just because what you have to go through to get there. And then the postseason is just what? Come on.
Yeah.
And the volume of playing now, the games start to get more condensed.
Yeah.
So it was right at the very top. We also have full respect for the NBA championship.
Yeah.
Right. To get there is very difficult, just like any other sport.
Sure.
The NFL, because of the brutal injury side, but it didn't really rank that high.
That one is the only thing I say for the NFL that it's tough is it's one and done again.
Yeah.
It's when it's the one and done. There's no
You don't get
like,
chance.
the
Best
New
out
England
of-
Patriots
yeah.
were the best team that season that they went 18-1.
Right.
They deserved to be the champions based on the season, but they weren't because they didn't win the game that mattered the most.
Right.
The New York Giants won that game. You play that game 10 times, I think the Patriots win it 8 times out of 10 because Giants ultimately did it again later to them.
Yeah.
But I think the Patriots find a way to win that more often than not. But that's the only reason. Mitch Yard did say World Series,
Yeah.
which I like because, again, to me, that's where even though it's a best of 7, baseball players are so used to such a long season and losing baseball games. So now you go into a series where you can't lose baseball games.
Every pitch counts, man.
One bad start from your ace. Like, to me, game 1 was so important for the Yankees because you don't want to waste the Garrett Cole start. And they wasted a Garrett Cole start because they didn't get the win. And to me, that was the series.
Yeah, it was the series. Yeah, I agree. Going into that one, Garrett Cole was the sort of the factor that could take the Yankees over top.
And throughout the course of an entire baseball season, your batters or your pitchers, they'll be hot and cold streaks. You're used to that because you're going to lose 60-plus games this season. You're fine with that. But then you get to the World Series or the playoffs, and you can't have that caught streaking or cold streaks. You can't get into a cold spell. You can't have Aaron Judge go 0 for 50 or whatever. Otherwise, you lose the World Series.
Yeah. So I did pick the World Series, and again, maybe sport bias, but
Cap space.
I've just seen
The World-
No, that's a great conversation.
That's like-
but
Cap space,
but
that's fair.
that did not enter. One of the other things we did talk about earlier in the show before we got that though, guys, was the parity thing in baseball. I mean, look what happened. You had 2 years ago, the Mets had the highest payroll in the history of the game, 300 and what was it, 34 million or some crazy number like that. They were 313 million this year, right? I think Yankees, Dodgers, and who rounded out?
Would Red Sox be
Red
up there?
Sox. They were up there. They weren't fourth.
It was Mets, Dodgers, or Mets. I think how it officially went was Mets, Dodgers, or Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. But the Dodgers had that deferred payment stuff.
That's it.
So they would be a much higher.
Yeah, Dodgers were actually 5th this year in
Or that's
overall
where it was. Okay,
payroll.
that's where it was.
But with deferring $68 million of Ohtani's annual,
That's insane.
They would have been third. They would have been third right behind the Yankees, but they were 5th, right? So anyway, it's going to be interesting. But the payroll thing did come up. We talked about parity in baseball and the fact that there is none. You know, if we look at the playoffs, at the start of the playoffs in Major League Baseball, we had a pretty good spread between bottom half payrolls and top half payrolls, which is pretty classic in the history of baseball. This year, however, 2 of the Titans got to duke it out, and the Dodgers just.
Matt Hyman did add World Series before playoffs when it was just pennant race was interesting. Before they expanded these playoffs and there was only 4 playoff teams, World Series would have, to me, easily been harder than hockey.
Yeah, it's impossible to get to the postseason.
It was almost impossible to get to the postseason. Now that they've expanded it, you get to the postseason, you can get hot at the right time to a degree. But yeah, when they were just the 4 teams, the 3 division winners and the wild card.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah.
That's why you can't say NBA by any means. None of us thought it once because you'd have super teams and you already know.
It's the stars. If you get a star, you're good.
You're bored by playoffs already because you know who's going to win. You know the Celtics are going to win. Like,
Celtics aren't winning this year.
Yeah, they probably won't win this year. But my point is, like, last year, all of us were already bored of it. Whereas, like, hockey and NHL, like, you don't know what's going to happen. There's a Cinderella story each time. So, I mean, dominant teams get taken over. Look at us. Look at our story. This is why Stanley Cup is the hardest.
I'm with you on the Stanley Cup.
I'm sorry about the MLB, but I totally
get it.
You're telling me Yankees and Dodgers are two sexy teams, two sexy cities to live in. Who doesn't want to go play out there?
But when was
Give
the
me a
last
break.
time
That's
those two teams met in the
don't
World
know.
Series? Yeah. It was the 70s. It doesn't happen. Like,
But
you
they're
sit
always
there.
in it, right?
In the World
Mix.
Series?
Last year the
Neither.
Yankees,
It was
where were your
Diamondbacks.
Yankees last
Reds.
year?
They didn't even make the playoffs last year. Aaron Boone should have been fired then. He actually should have been fired even further. Brian Cashman said he's not. He stands by Aaron Boone.
Right.
I was so mad when I saw that. I like. It's easy to say that like the Yankees haven't won since 2009. The Dodgers have only won 2 titles.
Yeah.
09 isn't far away.
But like it's people think that like the Yankees
in
are this
hindsight,
team
yeah.
that just goes and buys championships. They haven't won since 2009. That's 15 years that they actually haven't won a title. The Dodgers really only have 2 titles since I don't know when the title was before they won in 2020 or
The
something.
modern era,
It's like
yeah.
we could say that they've got the money, they got these stars, but it doesn't mean equal titles. You know, it was the Rangers beating the Diamondbacks last year.
Yeah.
You know, we had the Giants in the early 2010s where they won every second year or something. I don't know what their payroll would have been, but they also built a team there.
They built a team.
They built a team
Sure.
with Buster Posey
Yep.
and Madison Bumgarner and all of that.
So good.
He was such a great player.
Yes. So good. So good. But yeah, no, that's a great argument. So the NHL was, I think, in our little conversation, one of the toughest. And I think the only reason MLB sort of just the volume of play. The volume of play. But
course.
there's a strong argument. And I don't know if there's any right answer, but
Oh, I think Charles Barkley said it was the NHL one time. I think
Yeah,
he
he
I
did.
think he was the one
Yeah.
that
I
said
heard
the
him say
NHL,
that.
this is the toughest, the
Yeah.
Stanley Cup's the toughest trophy to win, I think he said.
yeah.
So
Like if the NBA, everybody wants to go to the Lakers. That's why I don't like the Lakers. Everybody wants to go to LA and play in this amazing facility, or even the Knicks. It's again the 2 major cities of
yeah,
America.
but okay,
the
how
Knicks
many
suck.
times? When was the last time the Knicks won a title?
I was wondering
Right?
about the Knicks argument there.
Like,
That's why I root for
the
the
Knicks are one of
I
those
want them to
teams,
win.
the underdog.
The Knicks
Yeah.
are one of those teams that get talked about more than they actually deserve.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers do get talked about a lot. They at least have the rings. They at least have the titles to back it up. The Knicks don't. It's like the Leafs. The Leafs get talked about a lot, and rightfully so. There's a lot of fans, the market through and stuff, but really, they have not won since expansion.
What was crazy, speaking of the Leafs, was somebody was like, this is the latest game the Leafs have ever played in a
Yes.
calendar year. Not a COVID year, obviously. The Leafs have never won more than 2 rounds. And it's like, oh, yeah.
Right?
That's
so hard.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's
But
so,
they
and
have 13 Stanley Cups, but they have not won more than 2 rounds. You go, oh,
but all
my
13
goodness.
were against 5 other opponents.
Yeah.
There was no 7th other team to play
Right.
against, or 6th other team to play against. I guess
Maybe
there was, so-
really early on, I can't remember, before it settled into the original 6, there was a couple
Oh,
more.
maybe.
Like Quebec was in there, Hamilton was in there, Montreal had 2 teams, the New York Americans. We're talking like 30s, 20s, and 30s when the Leafs had left, changed from the arenas to the St. Pat's to finally the
Yeah.
Leafs.
Quaddy is saying only talking team sports, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that was our conversation.
It was
that
team
was our
sports.
Yeah, we were talking
because he was going Grand Slam in tennis. Would be
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
I would.
That's a good point. But
One of
yeah,
those-
individual
those-
sports, a little bit
Could
different.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, those. It's
and then
it's very different.
so from there it was a cool conversation because the last one was the last question was the athlete you'd go see, but the most dominant athlete of all time. And I again going back to Jordan, my guy to see changed beyond
dominant
basketball.
athlete.
Beyond basketball, he changed so much, right? So that was the other question we had, but
The championships for Jordan is, I think, the clincher.
I think so. So we're talking the most successful, the winningest, and this is a conversation for the next roundtable we're going to have. So we're going to try to do that regularly every 3 months or so. But the winningest athlete of all time, we didn't have the data. So I've been doing some research about the win since that show that aired last night. I've been just looking at who is the winningest athlete of all time. I won't lay it out here because
Well, like Henri Richard has what, 11 Stanley
11, I
Cups?
think.
yeah. But this, and again, we're going to have to preface
Bill
this one.
Russell had a lot. I think it was Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Between player and like management or something, Phil has a lot too.
That's a good one too. But again,
what is-
we're gonna have to preface this. Is it gonna be just team sports or individual? I think we're gonna open this one up to any sport anywhere. So you got to talk about Phelps, right?
It's not Bill
You have to talk
Russell.
about Phelps.
point.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Well,
But then
the other
you also
for
have to talk
dominant,
Serena, though,
for
too.
dominant, I would go. He can't win as much because he wasn't allowed to because it's just different discipline. But Usain Bolt,
Yeah.
the guy won 3 straight 100 meters, 3 straight 200 meters at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Over that span, like that is just ridiculous. Bill Russell has 11 championships during his 13-year tenure.
And again, guys, understand that the context of this show was just helping people understand the landscape at the highest levels, right?
Bill
It is.
Russell,
point.
as a player, is an 11-time NBA champion. He's a 2-time NCAA champion. He also is, as a coach, a 2-time NBA champion.
Jeez.
It's incredible.
Phil, what does Phil Jackson have?
Because Phil Jackson won NBA title as a player with the Knicks.
Phil had 2 NBA titles with the Knicks as
Yeah.
a player, 11 NBA championships as a head coach, which is
Crazy.
the most all time. And then Jerry West would have a few titles throughout his, but if you're adding executive career to him as well. Because he had one as a player.
interesting
He's an
twist, too.
8-time NBA
Front
champion
office,
as an
right?
executive.
Some of these guys go to the front office and do it right.
Jerry West, 80, 82, 85, 87, 88, all with the Lakers. He was part, and 2000, 2015 and 17, which was with the Golden State Warriors.
Aiden
Oh,
O'Neal.
there's so much to talk about.
There is. And Aiden O'Neal brings up an interesting one. Aiden says, Tiger Woods, if you think about it this way, Scotty Scheffler would need to stay number 1 in the world for 591 more weeks to beat Tiger's record of 683 weeks at number 1.
Wild.
That's
That's
nuts.
wild.
Okay, that's why we have the conversation.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stunned.
I know.
Okay.
I am going to lose it. Good thing the hangout's almost over. From John Hodge with 3 Down Nation. The Stampeders have a quote-unquote major announcement coming tomorrow with CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosby and Calgary Mayor John Deck in attendance. It seems fair to speculate the 26th Grey Cup for which Calgary made a bid will be in this city. You kidding me, CFL? You really are going to give the Grey Cup game when it's Edmonton versus Calgary on a bid to Calgary at that stadium? That better not be the announcement tomorrow because that is a joke if that's the case.
Wow.
That better be something else of like maybe a new stadium or something like that.
Unless
They better be announcing funding or something for a stadium.
this sounds ridiculous to me. I agree. But unless maybe here they want to spruce up Commonwealth and they're going to delay it another year. And they're like, "Okay, give it to Calgary. We want 27."
It better be.
I
better
hope.
be like this. Better
Otherwise,
not
it
be
doesn't make sense.
between the two bids. If there was actually in the CFL made a decision, Randy better like quit now. Like get out, be gone. What a stupid decision.
Unless the Elks were like, "Give it to Calgary."
I don't
we
think
need
you'd
to
go through
prep
this
for
whole. I don't think you'd go through this whole bidding process.
I agree.
And then at the very last second, be like, you want to know something? We're actually good.
I'm just saying.
No,
that's the only other thing I think of immediately
This is
after
why you
hearing
didn't-
that stupidity.
This is why a bunch of owners didn't want you around, Randy, because you're awful at this. What
you
a
were so
stupid
nice to him
decision.
when you had him on the show.
Basically, Randy, you tripping.
You tripping, boot?
Yeah, you tripping.
I like that. Hernan
stupid
is
decision.
fired up.
What a dumb decision. So now we gotta go down to Calgary for 26 for this? Like, what a joke.
Bull doo doo.
Piss off, Randy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I hope.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make a lot
Like,
of sense.
Maybe they're announcing a new stadium.
it better be something along those lines, but it doesn't say anything about the but like, where's the nah. What a
He's
dumb
a
move.
hot little tamale right now.
Well, I was getting excited that the Grey Cup is coming here because it should.
It should.
If there's a better like, is Commonwealth the greatest stadium? No.
No.
Is it better than McMahon? 100%.
Yes.
Who does a better job with the festival? Edmonton.
Yes.
Easily. I was at 18. I was at 19. I was at both of them. Edmonton's was way better. It was a better time. The only reason Calgary was fun is we made it fun ourselves.
Yeah, we did. J-Mo was having a great time. Dusty and Eric were in a different world.
I was
had a good
I was
time.
at the I went to
Grey Cup
I was at
fever,
McMahon
man.
Stadium for it was trash.
Yeah.
You're going to Calgary. Oh my.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Stupid. It's
It's
absolutely
okay, just
stupid.
think about a pool and everything will be fine.
No, because it's
Yeah.
where I'm going to get mad again when this announcement
And duck
officially happens.
confit.
It better not be this. It better not. There better be something else being announced. Maybe they're announcing an All-Star game or something. I don't know. Can't be the Grey Cup. Grey Cup's supposed to be. That's supposed to be announced at Grey Cup week.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Grey Cup. It's going to be a new stadium.
I hope you're right, Crusher.
Right?
If it is,
'Cause they
I will
wouldn't-
apologize to Randy, and I will say piss off Iwanyk afterwards because I told him to piss off.
Because they wouldn't
But
announce that now. You're right. It's the
supposed
timing's
to
not
be a
there.
Grey Cup.
unless they're doing it because it's going into Grey Cup.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Because his media address, his State of the Union, his last one
his
ever.
last one, right?
Good. Is Monday or Tuesday. I forgot which day it is. I think it's Monday.
I'd like to take this moment to wish my brother Paul a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
Get it in.
31.
Oh, happy
30.
birthday, Polly. November 7th.
32?
32?
year?
92.
So then he'd be 33. No, 32. 32.
32.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
32. Happy birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I will not make fun of ball hockey today.
Are you guys going anywhere? Oh, you have got date tonight.
I'm busy tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take him out this weekend.
Book it on your brother's birthday.
She only gave me two dates. She's
Okay,
like,
good.
this one or this one. I'm like, wow, you're busy. She's like, yes.
It's okay.
So, sorry, Paul. I'll take him out this weekend.
Yeah, weekends when it matters because then
Sunday.
you can relax.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to really like St. Albert. I'm not going to lie to you. Now my parents live out there and Polly lives out there. And
So you're going to move out there?
No, definitely not. I love downtown. So I would just really appreciate it more.
Yeah, it's cool.
Happy
It's
birthday.
nice.
Yay, happy birthday.
Small, but it's far.
I'm still
Awesome.
your daddy.
Big brother talk. I love it.
Treat yourself today, though, Polly.
will.
It's still your special day, even though Tommy won't be there. Okay.
No, that's okay.
There's some heat radiating from over this corner.
know.
I'm
Confused. I'm thinking,
I can tell,
I'm thinking
but-
what else it could be
No,
and
but
stuff. Like
It's getting hot
like
in here.
it's just
Trying to
one of
lighten
those
the
like
mood and
it doesn't. It just doesn't add
Will
up.
you- will-
when it's
will-
the two, like if Calgary is bidding by themselves, sure, give it to them. If it's Calgary versus Montreal, I get it, give it to them. Calgary, Edmonton right now, it just doesn't. Not with what Edmonton can do.
Will you, depending on how this goes, is this something you'd lose sleep over?
No,
Okay,
no,
just checking.
no. I'll gladly. Like by the time I'm in bed tonight, I won't be thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is.
But then tomorrow when
but
I'm on the
you're-
morning show
you're
with Eric, I'll be
you're-
angry again.
You're a huge CFL fan, though, right? So this is obviously important.
Yeah,
right?
well,
For-
and like, look, am I going to be there at that Grey Cup because it'll be easier to get to than Vancouver and stuff? 100%. Is
Yeah.
EST going to be there? 100%. Will we enjoy Grey Cup there? Absolutely. Will I be pissed off while I'm there a little bit? Will there be a part of me going, this should be in Edmonton? 100%.
Yeah. So I know you guys have talked about this to the end. I haven't heard all the conversations, but with this new leadership group with the Elks.
Your former team.
Yeah, my former team, which I love, man. You guys got to be excited about this.
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. I'll have a wait and see approach to a lot of these things. I was excited about Chris Presson. I was already excited about Victor Cui. I was not
Yeah.
excited about Len Rhodes. So I will wait and see. Chris says a lot of good things. The thing is, when you oversell, you got to deliver that.
Yeah.
And so like it'll be wait and see who's the GM, who's the coach. Are they going to keep Trey? If they're not, who's their quarterback? I'm intrigued to see how this plays out, but I'm optimistic with everything.
Yeah, I really like this time in an organizational's or an organization's timeline. Massive change because things just aren't operating. This is a basic blow up. Would you guys agree with that?
Yep.
They're blowing it up. Can they put it together? And again, going back to the teams we watch, every year we have a team to watch. The Eskimos will officially be a crush team to watch this next year. The Browns were that team in the NFL when they were just so terrible for so many reasons. They blow it up. New ownership comes in. Bang. It's a very similar scenario. They're going to be a fun team to watch now. You're right. Wait and see for sure. But I think this, if it's done right, man, could get this franchise back on track.
Yes. Outside of an expansion team, I don't know how of a franchise. However, you could have such a clean slate going into a new year.
Right. Yeah.
Where like the ownership, I know it was this season, but Larry Thompson and Deb, they haven't been able to do anything. Like next year, it's a new owner, new president, potentially new GM, new coach. Like, when do you see that with organizations?
So excited. It's very rare. And that's why I love it so much. This
All at once, too.
Yes.
Like, it's not like when new owner comes in, and then they'll make their changes at times. This is all happening at once.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's such a clean slate.
Yep. Baltimore Orioles, the Houston Astros, ownership changes, blow up. The Edmonton Oilers, ownership change, boom. I just love when this happens. But we'll see how they organize now.
I'm rooting for them.
Yep.
Let's go, Alex.
And that's the thing is people and
Let's go.
there you go, right in front of the camera.
First time.
I clicked the
We're not
wrong
done
thing
yet.
there. Sorry.
We're not done yet.
What were you gonna say?
But Jasmine, people like Jasmine's now getting into it, and there's a desire, and it feels like a want from former fans, people that walked away from the team, new fans that are like, I want to go see what this is all
You
about.
have to
and
win.
give it a shot.
you have-
You
That's
have to
that's
win,
my-
man. It's such a great scene down there when
Yeah,
the
it
team is
is.
winning. The
Yeah.
crowd is hot. The team is great. There's such passion, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. I want them to get back there. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Road Warriors presented by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers, trusted by leaders in every transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads. AccuSteel.ca. Tonight, you got the Bengals on the road taking on the Ravens in the National Football League. You could also get on the road and join Lieutenant Eric at Century Casino for
That'll
the
be a
game
good
tonight.
game.
Smoked brisket cheesesteak on special. That's the biggest thing for tonight, at least for me in my household. In hockey, I would say the biggest game. What do we got? Flames are on the road in Boston to take on the Bruins. Blackhawks Stars. Oh, Avs Jets. Avs on the road
that'll be
in
good.
Winnipeg. That should be a fun game. That's AccuSteel or Road Warriors by AccuSteel.
Can I ask Jeff one more question before you cut us off again?
Well, I got like a minute, like less than 60
Jeff,
seconds.
I want to become a Mets fan. What do you think?
Yes, do it. Again, another team to watch. New ownership, unbelievable ownership, right?
Yeah.
Same as kind of very similar to the Eskimos. Yes, do it. Mets.
It was great having you in, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Crush Performance, Wednesday nights at 6, unless there's an Oiler game, then it'll be after Oil Stream, a pregame show. Jasmine, good having you in again today. On behalf of Jasmine, Jeff, I'm Matt. He's Tommy. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout. And up next, it is the Lock Shop. Then Two Guys and a Goalie with Jay Milne hosting today.
Nice.
EST Afternoons and the Reed Wilkins Show also to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,